means we're live! Ladies and gentlemen, I'm the one and only DJ Storms, and I would like to welcome each and every single one of you back here to the channel on YouTube.com. As of course, you already know who I am, Mr. Controversy and the operator of the best damn Twitter handle known wait for it to mankind. This is the official lightning flash update for February 6th, 2021. My, oh my! That intro never gets old. I think we need to check the chat. Where's the posse at? We got Furious Nation. We got Danielle, Danny, DD. I think I'm going to call you DD from here on out. That's gonna be your nickname here on the channel. Calling you DD from here on out. We got Ruben. That's right, Ruben. Smash the likes. We're going to smash all the likes that we could possibly smash here. Cool King's here. Adam is here. We got 6 viewers watching thus far. We are going to monitor the chat nice and closely, of course. Posse's in full effect, but I don't think that we got enough viewers. I really don't. I don't think we got enough viewers. If you guys haven't already smashed the like button, I don't know what you're doing. But I think we're going to share out the stream and get a little more people in here. We need some more people in here. We need more people in here. Let's see what we can do here. There you go. We got that one. What else we got? So what do you call an intro? You already know, Adam. You already know. We got 11 viewers in here. Good. That's what I like to see. But there's only 8 likes. See, that's not right. That's not right. I don't know what's going on over there, but something needs to be done. Something needs to be done, and something needs to be done now. So please, if you guys can take care of that. What else we got? There we go. Where's Escobar? Where's Escobar Morales? I thought Escobar Morales would have been here. I thought he would have been in here. I don't know where he is, but he should really be in here. Unbelievable. Unbelievable, people. You guys are slacking. You guys are slacking. We got 10. 10 likes, so that's what I like to see. That's what I like to see. Good. Good. That's what I like to see. That's exactly what I like to see. But, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for tuning in to yet another video right here on the greatest YouTube channel of them all. Of course, we are set. We are set for a big month full of content for the DJ Storms brand. Let me know if the mic's coming in good. Let me know if there's an echo. Let me know if there is any mic difficulties. Is the mic coming in good? Tell me if the mic's coming in good. We got up here. Good. We got a lot of things to dissect. We got a lot of things to talk about. Good. We got 10 people in here. We got 10 likes, but we need more. We need more, man. And in order for us to get more, things need to be done. So first things first, before we get down to business here, because we got a lot to talk about. There's a lot of news and rumors that came out of the Rumble this past Sunday. Of course, we got 6 weekly shows to dissect. We got Raw, we got AEW Dark, we got Dynamite, NXT, NXT UK, and of course, SmackDown. This video only starts a big month of content for the DJ Storms brand. So first things first, let's get down to business. We are going to get through the self-brand promotion and the advertisements as we got 9 people watching. So here's what you got to do. If you guys aren't already following me on the Twitter sticks, I don't know what you're doing. Follow me on the Twitter sticks at HistoryMakerDJS. You'll find out why I am the operator of the best damn Twitter handle known to mankind. Please go check that out. Please go follow me on Instagram as well at the DJ Storms. Add me on Facebook for collaborations and business inquiries. Please send me an email. My email for collaboration and business inquiries for all content creators and podcasters and YouTubers that want to have me on their channel or is interested in coming on my channel. Send me an email. My email is, of course, StormsTakeOver@gmail.com. Like the official DJ Storms business page, and I may just send you an invite to join the official DJ Storms Posse group on Facebook. That is, all the links are in the description, so if you are interested, please check out all those links if you haven't already done so. The rundown for the Royal Rumble with Earl Cole, that did okay. The Lightning Flash update from last week, that did okay. But the rewind, you guys blew the rewind out of the water. The rewind actually outperformed the rundown and the Lightning Flash update from last week. The rewind, that is over 200 views. You guys absolutely knocked it out of the park. Over 200 views for the rewind on Monday, February 1st. So I want to thank each and every single one of you who came out and showed your support for the rewind for the Royal Rumble 2021. If you guys missed the rewind, the link is in the description. So after this stream, if you guys have not seen the rewind, if you missed the rewind, if you missed my full analytical dissection of what we saw on Sunday, January 31st, please go check that out. Link, of course, is in the description. We are almost 8 minutes into the Lightning Flash update, and we got 12 viewers, we got 12 likes. If you guys haven't liked the video already, I think there's something mentally wrong with you, because when you come in here, your job, number one, your first job is to hit the like button. It's right down there, not that hard. All you need to do is scroll down with your mouse and badoosh, click it. So I need you guys to hit the like button if you haven't already done so. It is vital that you do so. It is extremely vital that you do so. So please hit that like button if you haven't already done so. Of course, in order for us to reach the goal, and we have a goal here of 30 likes. We are already at 12. We're almost halfway there to 30 likes. We're almost halfway there to 30 likes, so please, if you haven't already done so, please hit the like button. And when you hit the like button, you got to make sure that you keep the chat alive and you share the stream out. Share the stream out on all platforms of social media. Share it out on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, Tumblr, so we can get everybody in here. Mom, dad, grandparents, brothers and sisters, aunts and uncles, your dogs, your cats, and yes, DD, I'm going to say it, your guinea pigs. Especially the guinea pigs, because the guinea pigs, they love them some DJ Storms. You already know. You already know. Of course, please make sure you hit that subscribe button as I'm trying to grow, I'm trying to expand, I'm up, I'm down, I gain 2 subscribers, then I lose 2 subscribers, and then I gain 2 subscribers, and then I lose 2 subscribers, and it looks like Habiki TMD is in the chat, and he's writing down that the Blue Brothers are trying to take over. The Blue Brothers ain't fucking taking over the chat here. Alright? You ain't bringing up the Blue Brothers in the Lightning Flash update. I don't need Eli and Jacob Blue ruining my stream here. Anyway. Please hit the subscribe button if you haven't already done so. And when you do, when you do hit that subscribe button, you got to make sure you hit that notifications bell with a huge coup de grace. That way you will know whenever I pop up on YouTube. Because whenever I pop up on YouTube, it is the best time to be on YouTube. It's the only time you're going to get to see this glorious sideburn chin strap combination and this beautiful mustache. It's not even a question if I have it. Of course I have it, because I got to touch it up. Got to touch it up. I actually just got a haircut. I got a haircut yesterday. I clean up pretty nicely, don't you think? Everybody wants a piece of the StormsMeister. We got 14 people watching, 14 likes. That's what I like to see. That right there is why I love y'all. That's why the DJ Storms Posse is the best fan base in the YWC and in the IWC. Of course, the loyal members of the DJ Storms Posse, they got wristbands. Of course, Cool King's got a wristband. Dee Dee's got the wristband. Of course, Habiki's got the wristband. Ruben, do not worry. I will send out your wristband when I get the chance. I have been busy. I've actually been busy with college work, applying to jobs, lots of stuff going on. And of course, we got a lot of videos. We got a lot of videos coming this month for the DJ Storms brand, including the rundown. Yes, the rundown for NXT TakeOver Vengeance Day. That's going to be on Friday, February 12th at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And my guest is none other than Little Stevie. If you guys remember Little Stevie, he was on the rundown for AEW Full Gear all the way back in November of 2020. Pleasure to have him back on the channel. The rundown for WWE NXT TakeOver Vengeance Day, that's going to be on February 12th at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time, so please set your calendar dates for that. Next week, of course, another Lightning Flash update. Of course, we got the rewind for NXT TakeOver Vengeance Day, and then on February 19th is going to be the rundown for the Elimination Chamber. I'm not telling you who my guest is yet. I'm going to keep that a surprise. I will keep that a surprise. Of course, you already know that everybody wants a piece of the StormsMeister. We are halfway to 30 likes. That's what I like to see. Let's not waste any time. We are going to get straight into the news, rumors, and reports. After I'm done with the news, rumors, and reports, I will check the chat. I'm going to check the chat after the news, rumors, and reports, so please just hang tight. Keep the chat alive, talk amongst yourselves, and you can react to whatever report that I got going on. All right? So, without further ado, let's get into the news, rumors, and reports. We got a report from PW Insider, Mike Johnson of PW Insider specifically. He actually reported that there's a word going around backstage that Carlito may be getting a tryout as a producer. So if you guys are wondering what's going on with Carlito Caribbean Cool, Johnson stated, and I quote, "The word making the rounds backstage is that Carlito will also be at tomorrow's Raw," which he was, "and there's talk he may be getting a tryout as a producer for the company." End quote. Now, first off, when Carlito came back, he looks in tremendous physical condition. I don't think I ever remember Carlito looking that fucking good. He looks fantastic for his age. He looks fantastic. I don't know what he's been taking. I don't know what he's been doing, but he is absolutely fantastic. And yes, I did hear he was recommended by MVP, and he pitched the idea to Triple H. And it looks like he may be getting a trial run over the course of the next few weeks. I definitely wouldn't mind him as a producer. But, man, if they want to have him in the ring, in the mid-card, I definitely wouldn't mind that either, because the mid-card in the division on Monday Night Raw is really lacking. That is really lacking. I really do hope that Carlito does get another run in the ring, because he looks fantastic. He is fantastic. He has the physical look of a world champion. Not saying that he's going to be a world champion, but he's got a great physical look. He can cut a promo. He's charismatic as shit. When he wants to be, when they allow him to be, he's charismatic as shit. The guy is immensely better. The guy is immensely better in the ring from when I last remembered him. So I actually do hope that Carlito, he does get another run in the ring, but if he is to try out as producer, I definitely wouldn't mind that. So, for those of you wondering what's going on with Carlito, that's what's going on with Carlito right now. My next report actually comes from Wrestling Inc. They recently reported that Cesaro's contract is set to expire shortly after WrestleMania 37. However, yesterday, it was brought to everyone's attention on social media, I believe it was either an hour before SmackDown or it was an hour into SmackDown, that Fightful reported that Cesaro actually re-signed a new contract. Yes, Cesaro actually did re-sign a new contract, and Fightful actually debunked the fact that Cesaro could end up leaving the company. Now, there was a report not that long ago, I believe it was about a month and a half ago, I want to say, that Cesaro was actually brought up in creative as one of the names that have been underutilized, because the creative team was set to make a list of talent that they feel is underutilized, and Cesaro's name was brought up a lot, no shit. So recently, Cesaro's actually been getting a lot of wins as of lately. He beat Daniel Bryan twice, he beat Dolph Ziggler, he's been on a roll as of lately. So, if anything, we all thought that it could have been because of the fact that people wanted him to break out, because of the fact that he was brought up in creative so much as one of the names that they felt have been underutilized, you know what I mean? But apparently, this is what WWE does. When WWE realizes that someone's contract is coming up, what do? They start to push him. And then when they sign a new contract, they'll continue to push him a little bit. But then after they sign a new contract, at least a month after they sign a new contract, what do? They bury him again, and they go back to doing the same shit that they were doing with them before they signed a new deal. What happened with Gallows and Anderson? Gallows and Anderson, they were on the verge of leaving because their contract was coming up. And what did WWE do in 2019? They gave them the Raw Tag Team titles for about 3 weeks. They signed a new deal, and then they took the Raw Tag Team titles off of them, put them on Braun Strowman and Seth Rollins after 3 weeks. So at the end of the day, I expect the same thing to happen here with Cesaro. Cesaro will probably get pushed all the way up until the Elimination Chamber. He may even get a Universal or an Intercontinental title match. He may be inside the Elimination Chamber. Is he going to win? No, because this is what WWE does. When someone's contract is coming up, they push him for a little bit, and then they sign a new deal. They continue to push him for a few weeks after they sign the new deal, and then they go back to doing the same shit that they were doing with them before they signed a new deal. I want to believe that Cesaro might get what he deserves, but at the end of the day, with the track record that this company has, do you really fucking trust him? I don't. Moving on. Dave Meltzer, he was actually in the news a lot today. Meltzer reported numerous stories. One of them was about Christian and his return at the Rumble. Meltzer said that Christian's return is not a one-time and gone thing, but it is not clear how much he will be wrestling. Now, Christian is one of my favorite superstars personally. I love Christian. He should have gotten a longer World Championship title run. Christian is undoubtedly one of the most underrated superstars that the company has ever seen. Christian and his career really does get overshadowed a lot by Edge and his career, but Christian himself, Christian is fantastic. I personally fucking love Christian. Now, if he is having this one last little run here, I definitely wouldn't mind that. I actually would love to see Christian wrestle one more match, no pun intended. Who does he wrestle? Well, Big E has actually been teasing a match. Big E's been teasing a match with Christian because if you remember, Christian's last match was a fatal four-way match in which he won the number one contendership to fight Big E for the Intercontinental title, and then he was never seen again. He was never seen again after that. So, Christian versus Big E for the Intercontinental Championship, I think that would be a great fucking match. I would love to see that. Whether it be at the Elimination Chamber, whether it be at Fastlane, whether it be at WrestleMania. It could be at WrestleMania. I definitely wouldn't mind that. You can enhance Big E that way. I definitely wouldn't mind that at all. So we'll have to see how that plays out. But I would definitely love to see Christian versus Big E for the Intercontinental Championship. Meltzer also reported that Jey Uso was not medically cleared for the Rumble. However, no medical reason was reported, and the timetable for his return is otherwise unknown. Now, I originally thought that it was COVID, because you know the WWE, they never fucking acknowledge that their superstars have COVID-19. The only superstar that they've acknowledged that caught COVID-19 was Drew McIntyre. But Jey Uso, he was on SmackDown a couple weeks ago. He lost to Shinsuke. He was actually on SmackDown last night. Now, if that's the case, then more likely than not, it's not COVID-19, and it's mainly a little minor injury, maybe to his knee, because I know he has a history of knee problems. It's either him or his brother has a history of knee problems. I think Jimmy is the one with a history of knee problems. Jay, I'm not sure. I think he may have the shoulder problems. I'm not sure. But more likely than not, it's a minor injury. If he's able to appear on SmackDown, but he's not competing in a match, then more likely than not, it's not that serious, so he'll be back in a few weeks. So, for anyone wondering why Jey Uso was not in the Royal Rumble, even after he declared he was going to be in the Royal Rumble, that is why. Moving on to our next report. According to a report from PW Insider, Lars Sullivan and his WWE run is over. They have confirmed with WWE officials that Sullivan is no longer employed by WWE and he was quietly released last month. This has to do with his history of anxiety, so much so that he was actually not eating. Now, listen, you don't have to like Lars Sullivan. Lars Sullivan is not everyone's cup of soda. I know that when people go out to a nice restaurant, they get a nice Italian meal. You want to get something different to drink. Some people may get a Pepsi, some people may get a Coca-Cola, a ginger ale, a Mountain Dew. Me, I personally prefer Sprite. I love Sprite. But I know Lars Sullivan is not everyone's cup of soda, but whether you like Lars Sullivan or not, you can't deny that Lars Sullivan had potential, and the guy can work. Lars Sullivan actually had a very nice run in NXT. He had a nice back and forth with Cash Zono at one of the TakeOver specials in 2017. He actually had a nice feud with Killian Dane. He actually had a pretty good NXT Championship match with Aleister Black. Very nice match with EC3. He gets called up, and he's having all these anxiety attacks. Then he finally makes his debut, and people were shitting on him and trying to bring up shit from the past and digging up shit from 10 to 15 years ago, which I'm not really going to get into. And then you already know what happened towards the end of 2019 with Lars Sullivan. I don't advocate for anything that Lars Sullivan said or did, but at the end of the day, if you're really going to drag up shit from 10, 15 years ago to try and ruin someone's present-day success, you are an absolute fucking asswipe. I'm just going to point that out there. You're a fucking asswipe. I don't care what happened 10 to 15 years ago. The past is the past. Too many people are so focused on what happened 10, 15, 50, 100, 20, 200 fucking years ago to a point where it is plaguing people's minds. Cancel culture is a fucking disease to society. And anyone who's trying to cancel someone or trying to dig up shit on someone or trying to ruin someone's present day because of what happened 10 to 15 years ago, you are a fucking asswipe. You are a fucking disease to society. And you don't deserve the air that we breathe. I'm just going to point that out there. Lars Sullivan definitely had potential, and I don't know what's going to happen with Lars Sullivan. I'm not sure whether he goes to AEW or New Japan or Ring of Honor or whatever. I'm not even sure if he continues with pro wrestling. All I can hope is that Lars Sullivan does find success outside of the WWE. That's all I hope for. I hope for the best for Lars Sullivan. I don't wish any ill will. I don't wish any bad upon him. I do hope he does find success. That's all I'm going to say on that. I get another report from Dave Meltzer. He reported on Wrestling Observer Radio that Edge, who won the Royal Rumble this past Sunday, Edge was actually the one that pitched the idea of him winning the Royal Rumble. Meltzer stated, and I quote, "They were going to do an I Quit match at WrestleMania, and Edge, in fact, got this idea of coming back and winning the Royal Rumble and maybe winning the championship. And so they had to get out of the Randy Orton thing, and that's how they got out of it." End quote. Now listen. Normally I'd shit all over this. Because of Edge being a made man already, coming back and winning the Royal Rumble. He's a bona fide Hall of Famer. He is a Hall of Famer. And he's done everything there is to do. There's not a single thing that Edge has not done in his career. Normally, I'd shit all over this, and people actually want to compare this to what's going on with Goldberg. But I'm here to tell you, actually, I'm not going to shit on this. And I'm going to tell you why. Number one, the main difference between Edge and Goldberg is that Edge actually cares about the business. Edge actually has love for the wrestling business. Edge actually wants to see the business succeed. Edge wants to see others succeed, and Edge loves to see the young talent succeed. This week, Edge was on a lot of shows, and Edge actually put over a lot of talent. He put over Priest, put over Drew, he put over Balor, he put over Dunn. He was talking to Shinsuke Nakamura. He had a nice conversation with Shinsuke. He put over Roman. He was putting over people just by being there and enhancing them through his words. That's number one. Number two, Edge, more likely than not, knows that this run that he's on could end any minute. This run that he's on could end any minute, and he doesn't want the majority of this run to end with matches with Randy Orton. He doesn't want the majority of this run to be taken up by a feud with Randy Orton. Maybe he wants to branch out and face other people. Maybe he wants to face Drew McIntyre. Maybe he wants to face someone like a Seth Rollins. Maybe he wants to face Damian Priest. Maybe he wants to face a Finn Balor. Maybe he wants to face Pete Dunne. Maybe he wants to get out. He wants to get out and he wants to expand. He doesn't just want this run to be taken up by a feud with Randy Orton, which is why he pitched to win the Rumble. Maybe he wants to go to WrestleMania and face Drew McIntyre because he loves Drew McIntyre and he's high on Drew McIntyre. He wants to have that one match that he never got to have with Drew McIntyre with this run that Drew McIntyre's on. Maybe he wants to do that. And on top of that, maybe Edge is doing this because he wants to help get other talent over. So, at the end of the day, I'm not really going to shit on this because it actually tells a nice story and it gives Edge something else to do other than just fighting Randy Orton throughout this second run of his career. So I'm actually not going to shit on this. I actually didn't mind Edge winning the Rumble. Now, I do mind who he faces at WrestleMania, but we're going to talk about that in just a little bit. We're going to talk about that because Dave Meltzer actually did report on who Edge might face at Mania. But I'm actually not going to shit on Edge winning the Rumble because of those facts that I just named. PW Insider, they actually came out with another report on Bad Bunny. I don't even know who the fuck Bad Bunny even was until this past Sunday at the Rumble. Bad Bunny's actually planned to make more appearance with the WWE, and he could even be wrestling a match at WrestleMania 37. You heard me correctly. Bad Bunny wrestling a match at WrestleMania 37. Typical WWE. This is the WWE way whenever the ratings are in the toilet, whenever it's WrestleMania season, or whenever they feel like it, they bring a celebrity in and they give a celebrity a big-time matchup. They do this every fucking year. They give a celebrity a big-time matchup, and they build up a celebrity to go and fucking fight whoever. More likely than not, we're probably going to get Bad Bunny and Damian Priest versus fucking Miz and Morrison. Hey, hey, ho, ho, at WrestleMania. 60 plus years this company's been around, and they still make the same fucking mistakes over and over again. Yes, yes, Furious Nation. Yes, Nick Fury. Fuck Ryan Satin. I'm not going to spend too much time on that because this next report I actually want to spend a lot of time on. I have a lot to say on this report. My final report, and then I'll check the chat. Do not worry, I will check the chat. My final report, and I want to spend a lot of time on this. Dave Meltzer came out with an update on the planned main event of WrestleMania 37, literally less than 24 hours after the Royal Rumble. He came out with this on Monday afternoon, I believe it was. He stated, and I quote, "Not sure when this will be officially announced, but Roman Reigns versus Edge is the planned main event at WrestleMania." Now, listen. I understand a lot of people want to see this match, and I understand why. I understand it's a feel-good story. I understand that the build's going to be great. Build's going to be great. Edge is a great promo. Roman's a great promo. The match itself is definitely worthy of WrestleMania. I'm not going to deny that. But here's something that not a lot of people are thinking of. When you are booking a match for WrestleMania, you need to think about the future. You need to think about what is it going to do for everyone involved. Edge putting over Roman will not do anything for Roman. It won't do anything to enhance Roman. Listen, you can say that it's going to be a great match. You can say that it's going to be a great story. You could say that the build's going to be awesome. Yes, all true. But you cannot deny the fact of the matter that Roman Reigns, he is already here. Roman Reigns is already operating at a godlike level. Roman Reigns is already operating at a level in which he can't be touched. He's not going to be enhanced just by beating anybody. He's not just going to be enhanced just by beating anyone you put in front of him. He's going to be enhanced through the stories that you tell and the specific people that you have him beat. Edge putting over Roman is not going to enhance Roman because Roman is already at that level. You need to put specific people in front of Roman. Daniel Bryan is the best possible man to put against Roman at WrestleMania, and I'll tell you why. It's because Daniel Bryan is the sole reason why Roman Reigns' career as a babyface failed. Not literally, it's because of shit creative that Roman's babyface run was a failure, but Daniel Bryan was the guy chosen by the people. Daniel Bryan was the guy that everybody wanted. He was the next John Cena, chosen by the audience. Roman Reigns was the guy chosen by management. And if Daniel Bryan was never a part of that Royal Rumble, if Daniel Bryan was never eliminated and Bryan won that Royal Rumble instead of Roman in 2015, I'm telling you right now, Roman's career as a babyface would have been so much better off. I even say time and time again, Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan, if their roles at WrestleMania 31 were reversed and Roman won the Intercontinental title while Daniel Bryan was facing Lesnar, that would have had Roman and his career as a babyface work out so much better. Now, with this current character, Roman Reigns could build up the story and tell the audience, all those many years ago, you chose him over me. You always chose him over me. Now look at me. I'm the tribal chief, and now you worship the ground that I walk on. You bend down, you take a knee, and you kiss my feet. You're praising me left and right. And Roman Reigns beating Daniel Bryan, that would validate this Roman Reigns heel turn. That would validate everything that has happened over the course of the last 7 years. That would validate everything that Roman Reigns has done ever since he came back and turned heel and aligned himself with Paul Heyman and became the tribal chief and became the head of the table. Edge and Roman, yes, the story will be good, the build will be good, the match will be good, but Roman Reigns is not going to be enhanced any more than he already is now. Now, let's take a look at the other side of the tracks. Let's take a look at Drew McIntyre. WWE fucked up with Drew McIntyre. WWE fucked up with Drew McIntyre when they had him lose the WWE Championship all the way back in October at Hell in a Cell to Randy Orton. Drew McIntyre, I compared Drew McIntyre's WWE Championship reign to what happened with Rhea Ripley. Shayna Baszler held the NXT Women's Championship for 400 plus days, and Triple H built up that legitimacy and credibility. And then he transferred that from Shayna Baszler to Rhea Ripley. Their job was to transfer that legitimacy and credibility from Rhea Ripley to a new star. And they didn't do that. And they had fucking Charlotte Flair beat Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania. It did nothing for Charlotte, because Charlotte was already a made woman. Charlotte was already at the top. Charlotte already was a bona fide Hall of Famer. She could have retired tomorrow, and she would have been in the Hall of Fame. So at the end of the day, Rhea Ripley and all that legitimacy, it went up in smoke. And WWE did the same thing with Drew McIntyre when they had him lose to Randy Orton. And then they put the title back on Drew McIntyre because they realized they fucked up and they couldn't do heel versus heel at Survivor Series with Randy Orton and Roman Reigns. And they ended up giving the title back to Drew McIntyre. Now, WWE needs to rebuild that legitimacy. They need to rebuild that credibility. And so far, I'll give them a little bit of credit. They've done a fairly decent job at rebuilding McIntyre's credibility. He defeated AJ Styles at TLC. He had a decent match with Keith Lee on Raw Legends Night. And then he defeated Goldberg at the Rumble. Now they got Sheamus lined up for him. If WWE does Edge and McIntyre at WrestleMania, think about this with the new deal that they got with Peacock. And all of those people on Peacock, and they tune into WrestleMania and they see Edge and McIntyre. If they see Edge put over McIntyre and Drew beats Edge, how do you think that's going to make Drew McIntyre look in the eyes of every other one of those people watching WWE that hasn't watched WWE? They're going to look at Drew McIntyre and say, oh my God, Drew McIntyre just beat Edge. This guy's legit. This guy's legit. This guy is the real deal. This guy is a true champion. So Drew beats Sheamus either at the Chamber or at Fastlane, and then he goes on to beat McIntyre, and then he goes on to beat Edge, at WrestleMania. He'll have 2 back-to-back victories over 2 Hall of Famers within a 3-month period. I say that is going to absolutely redeem Drew McIntyre and get his credibility back on track. You're not going to do fucking Balor versus Edge because the NXT Championship, more likely than not, there's actually a report going around that the NXT title is going to be defended at WrestleMania. It's going to be Balor and Karrion Kross. We'll probably get the Demon Finn Balor versus Karrion Kross. Vince more likely is going to have Karrion Kross lose, and Kross could be on the main roster after WrestleMania. Who knows? We could be on the road to seeing Karrion Kross versus Drew McIntyre at SummerSlam. So at the end of the day, WWE needs to continue to rebuild McIntyre's credibility. Why not have him be enhanced by Edge? Edge should not be winning a championship at all. Edge won the Royal Rumble. Now you need to utilize him to put over somebody else. And the best possible person to put over is Drew McIntyre. Rebuild his credibility, build up Drew McIntyre, and then build up a new star. You have been gifted a second chance with Drew McIntyre to rebuild his credibility and transfer that credibility to a new star. Don't fuck it up twice. Edge and McIntyre is the way to go at WrestleMania, not Roman and Edge. Roman and Edge is not going to enhance Roman. Bryan and Roman will enhance Roman. Roman and McIntyre, that's going to enhance McIntyre. And McIntyre going over Edge, that would make McIntyre look like a star in the eyes of all the people tuning in from Peacock. Please, get it through your head. Roman is not going to be enhanced by beating Edge. Listen! If more people would listen to me, more people would be a lot more intelligent in this community. Those are your news, rumors, and reports. Let's check the chat. So apparently Danielle and Hibiki, or Didi and Hibiki, they're going back and forth over which is better, Pepsi or Coke. And Furious Nation says, fuck Bill Goldberg. Very true. Lots of F-bombs being dropped today. You damn right, Didi. Fuck The Miz. Very true. That's what I'm talking about, Hibiki. It's going to be Big E versus Roman at SummerSlam. That's the way to go. Big E and Roman at SummerSlam. Big E wins. Cool King, Miz is gonna be another failed cash-in. I hope so. They just need to fucking get that match over with. We have 16 likes. We need 4 more likes in order to get to 20. I think we can do that. How you doing, Mr. Earl Cole? How you doing, Mr. Earl Cole? Hibiki says, how do you feel about Kevin versus Zayn finally at Mania? You know, normally I would be ecstatic for that, but if WWE hasn't done it now, do you really think they're going to do it? They haven't done it by now. You really think they're going to do it in the future? It's the same thing with Sasha and Bayley. Sasha and Bayley should have been the women's title match for the last 4 WrestleManias, and they didn't do it. That's why they didn't do it this year. You think that Vince was going to do it now? Of course not. You really think that Vince is going to do Owens and Zayn now? Of course not. If Owens and Zayn happens, I'd be shocked. If anything, I can see Owens and Zayn as a part of a multi-man ladder match for the Intercontinental Championship. I truthfully don't know what Owens is going to do at Mania. I really don't know what Owens is going to do at Mania, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. Adam says, people who want Edge versus Roman at Mania are just as big fools as Vince McMahon and his shareholders during the meeting in Stamford, Connecticut 2 days ago. You're telling me, Adam. You're telling me. We just got 17 likes. We got 13 people watching. 13 people watching. Keep it up, people. Keep it up. We want to get to 30 likes, so I need y'all to share out the stream. Are you guys sharing it out? Let's see if you're sharing it out. Let me see. Are you sharing it out? Look at this. My Twitter's blowing up. My Twitter's blowing up. How do you feel about what they're doing with Sonya Deville? Well, before I get into the Raw review, I will answer that question. I don't know what the fuck they're doing with Sonya Deville. She just comes back out of fucking nowhere. And she's the assistant to Adam Pearce. Sonya Deville should be in the SmackDown Women's Championship title hunt. Why isn't Sonya being built up as an opponent for Sasha? I would love to see Sonya versus Sasha before WrestleMania, before we get Bianca and Sasha. Why the fuck aren't we seeing Sonya fight Sasha for the SmackDown Women's title? It's ridiculous. Thank you for sharing, Dee. I think that we are going to get into the Raw review. I will check the chat after the Raw review. We are going to dissect everything about Monday Night Raw first. Let me tell you something. What did I tell you? What did I tell you on the rewind? I told you not to give WWE the benefit of the doubt, and what happened? The Royal Rumble was a great pay-per-view. There was little to nothing to complain about. A few things here and there, but overall, it was probably the best main roster pay-per-view in a long, long time. One of the best main roster pay-per-views of the modern era for WWE specifically. McIntyre defeated Goldberg. Sasha and Carmella actually put on a very solid SmackDown Women's title match. Bianca Belair won the Women's Royal Rumble, and Rhea Ripley was made into a star. 8 eliminations, and she was in the final 2. Roman Reigns put on yet another Match of the Year candidate. Edge won the Royal Rumble. Even the women's tag team title match wasn't that bad. And what happens on Monday Night Raw? WWE, they never, ever, they never follow up. I truthfully believe that WWE is incapable of building on momentum. They're incapable of doing so. This Monday Night Raw was ultimately a lackluster, boring disappointment of an episode, outside of maybe two things. So McIntyre kicked off the show. He talked about how awesome the Royal Rumble was. He ran down the results of the Rumble, and then he talked about the Men's Rumble. But before he could go into detail, Edge came out. Drew talked about Edge being a mentor to him, and he thanked him. He talked about his retirement and how he was heartbroken. He talked about Edge's return last year and how he talked about how happy he was that Edge did what he did. Edge goes, "Listen, I really like you, but I gotta be blunt. What is wrong with you? I can challenge for any title that I want, even that title, and you're over here showering me with compliments." So, I actually like that little back and forth. Sheamus then came out. Sheamus said he's not happy, and he says, "Now you were sitting at home nursing your tricep. Who are you?" Drew maybe wants to take the high road, but I don't. So Drew was like, "Relax, Sheamus, relax. I got this." Drew goes, "Listen, Edge, are you going to make your decision or am I going to have to make it for you?" Edge goes, "I'll make my decision known whenever I'm ready, but understand this. I'm going to be walking into WrestleMania and I'm going to be walking out as a champion." Edge then walked away. Sheamus then kicked Drew McIntyre. When Drew McIntyre turned around, he walked up the ramp and he said that he's not friends with McIntyre anymore and he wants the WWE Championship. I don't mind this. I want to give WWE a little bit of credit. I appreciate the fact that they're trying to keep Edge and the decision of who he's going to face interesting. I appreciate that. I appreciate the fact that they're trying to keep it interesting. I appreciate the fact that they're trying to keep it unpredictable. Although I don't really know how wise that is considering the track record of the WWE. I understand that they're trying to keep things interesting. But at the end of the day, with WWE and unpredictability, it's very, very hard to trust them. Now, I like what they did with Edge this week. I'm not going to bullshit you. It was nice to see Edge go to all shows and tease challenging for all three world titles and tease a match with Balor or a match with Reigns, a match with Edge. It was nice to see him put over talent. I like what they did with Edge on NXT, which we'll get into that when we get to the NXT review. But at the same point in time, I'm not sure how much we can really trust WWE with unpredictability. Now, as far as Sheamus goes, I don't mind Sheamus and McIntyre either at the Chamber or at Fastlane. I think that Sheamus and McIntyre, if anything, that's going to be a very, very physical, hard-hitting WWE Championship match. That's definitely going to enhance Drew McIntyre. That's definitely going to help Drew McIntyre and his WWE Championship reign. And the story's there. I definitely wouldn't mind that. I think that that's a nice match, a nice interim match for a pay-per-view. So I didn't mind this opening segment at all. Matt Riddle versus Bobby Lashley. This is for the United States Championship. Riddle went right after Lashley before Lashley slammed him down with a spine buster. We had a big stalling suplex toss. Riddle with a PK and a springboard floating bro. Lashley was absolutely livid at this rate, and Lashley locked him in the hurt lock. Riddle was in the ropes, and the ref actually disqualified Lashley. Lashley didn't give a fuck, and he absolutely decimated Matt Riddle. MVP tried to calm him down, but Lashley tossed Riddle over the barricade, and he stormed off. This is the second time that they've done this in a U.S. title match with Riddle and Lashley. They have had 2 U.S. title matches, and not one has lasted over 3 minutes. This feud had potential. This feud and this matchup had potential, but now WWE has completely fucked up this program to a point where no matter who wins, more likely than not, we're going to get a match at the Elimination Chamber. That's going to be an undercard match for the Chamber. It's going to be Riddle and Lashley for the U.S. title. No matter who wins, it's a lose-lose situation. Riddle has been made to look like an absolute bitch. Riddle has been made to look like Lashley's bitch. Every single time that Riddle and Lashley are in the same exact place together, Lashley has decimated Riddle. So if we get the U.S. title match at the Elimination Chamber, which I believe that's where it's going to take place, if Lashley wins, it's going to validate the fact that Lashley owns Matt Riddle. And Matt Riddle's not going to look good. And Matt Riddle is going to look like a complete fucking pushover. If Riddle wins, after everything that Lashley has done to him, if Riddle wins after weeks and weeks and weeks of Lashley just decimating Matt Riddle inside of 3 minutes, Lashley's going to look weak. You don't understand how important the booking and the portrayal of the superstars are. No matter who wins, even if it's a decent match, it could be fucking match of the year candidate at Elimination Chamber between Riddle and Lashley. But at the end of the day, it's not going to do anything for either man. Whoever loses is going to ultimately look like a pussy in the end. Lashley's going to look bad because after everything that Lashley did to Matt Riddle, if Matt Riddle ends up winning and Lashley loses the U.S. title, which I don't think he's going to lose it, but if he does, it's going to make Lashley look weak. You're not going to convince anyone that Lashley's not going to look weak after weeks and weeks and weeks of kicking Riddle's ass, and Riddle somehow gets the win. And then if Riddle loses, it don't matter. Riddle's buried. He's not really going to be buried, but he's pretty much buried in the eyes of WWE. They're not going to care. They don't give a shit about Matt Riddle. Moving on, we had Xavier Woods versus Mustafa Ali. This is obviously building towards Kofi and Ali at WrestleMania, which I don't mind. I think that's a great story. So Ali tried to dissect Woods. We had a swift running neck breaker, 4-2. Woods came back with a head scissor and a Russian leg sweep takedown. Woods with a discus lariat in tribute to Brody Lee. We had T-Balls. T-Balls broke up the pinfall by pulling Mustafa Ali out. Kofi launched himself off of T-Balls to take out Applejack, Jack Black, Jack Off, whatever the hell you want to call him. Woods then rolled up Ali for the win, and that was that. Listen, I know that this ultimately is going to result in Ali and Kofi, but fuck's sakes, Ali just can't catch a fucking break. Ali just can't catch a fucking break. It really does fucking pain me. It really pains me to watch this. It pains me to watch Ali, and he's literally busting his ass. He's busting his ass to try and make this work. He's playing up the gimmick on social media. He is cutting these really good promos. He's taking it unto himself. He's cutting these really good promos. I'm not even fucking lying to you. He's cutting these really good promos backstage, and WWE's playing them on Raw. He's cutting these really good promos, and then he's over here losing to Xavier Woods in 5 minutes. He's taking matters into his own hands to try and make this work, and he's trying to make himself into a legit threat, but yet WWE is not giving him the wins to back it up. It honestly pains me. And it frustrates me to no end, seeing how they want to make, they're literally trying to make Ali look bad. He's trying to make it work, and they're not even giving him a crumb. They're not even giving him a crumb. Meanwhile, they're giving all these other opportunities. They're giving all of this all of this food. It's like homeless people. It's like they're giving like they're favoring. It's like they're at a food drive and they're favoring one person over another person. They're not even giving Ali a crumb to munch on. He's got no legitimacy. He talks a big game and then he loses to Xavier Woods in 5 minutes. Miz TV. Was this the worst segment of the night? Oh, yes, it was. Correct. Had to get that in there. Miz TV with Miz and Morrison. They introduced Bad Bunny. So they ran back what happened at the Rumble. Miz and Morrison apologized. Bad Bunny didn't. Bad Bunny didn't apologize. I didn't even take extensive notes on this. He said a good friend wanted to be on Miz TV. Damian Priest came out. And Damian Priest absolutely fucking decked the Miz with a right forearm. Damian Priest and his forearm strikes. Damian Priest, he's a fucking hard hitter. Damian Priest is a hard fucking hitter. So we get Damian Priest versus the Miz. Priest with a big tope con hero taking out the Miz and Morrison. Miz took over control. He tried to wear down Damian Priest. Priest then fought back, hit a broken arrow for a 2. Bad Bunny took the briefcase away. And then Bad Bunny popped the Miz with the microphone. Not the Miz. He popped Morrison with the microphone because Morrison was on the outside. I would have much rather have seen Morrison versus Damian Priest. Damian Priest then hit the Reckoning on the Miz for the win, and Damian Priest wins his Raw debut. Damian Priest wins his Raw debut. How long did this last for Damian Priest? I'd give it a month. Hurt Business versus the Lucha House Party. This was for the Raw Tag Team Championships. And this was probably the best thing on the show. I'm not even going to lie to you. This was actually a very fun match for what it was. I don't know why they did this match here. I don't know why you didn't wait for the Elimination Chamber, because you need to actually put some effort into your fucking pay-per-views. But I will say, the match was very good. I would have waited till the Chamber, but the match was very good. So Lucha House Party took down the Hurt Business on the floor. Dorado was isolated by Benjamin. We had a gutbuster on Dorado for a 2. Dorado answered back with a big DDT. We had a tag to Grand Metalik. We had a springboard arm drag to Cedric Alexander and a diving Hurricane Rana. Benjamin then caught Dorado. Metalik with a tope suicida on him. We had a reverse sling blade on Cedric. A big splash by Dorado. And then a swanton bomb. A beautiful flush swanton bomb by Metalik. Benjamin broke up that pinfall. Benjamin then tagged in. He hit the pay dirt and the Hurt Business retain. And that was pretty much that. This was a very fun match. Probably the best thing on the show from an in-ring perspective. And the Hurt Business retain the Raw Tag Team titles over the Lucha House Party clean. I don't know why you didn't just save this match for the Chamber, but who the fuck am I? Asuka and Charlotte versus Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke versus Naomi and Lana. If you guys don't already know, we live by some codes here on the channel. And the code, the number 1 code, is fuck Charlotte Flair and all of her supporters. So if everyone can please type in the chat, fuck Charlotte Flair and all of her supporters, I would greatly appreciate that. But this was a number 1 contenders match to see who was going to face Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax for the women's tag team titles. I didn't give a shit. Nobody gave a shit. Lacey Evans and Ric Flair came out to distract Charlotte again. Charlotte walked off, Asuka was distracted, and then we got a rear view by Naomi, and Naomi and Lana won. Naomi and Lana ended up winning, so Naomi and Lana are going to get a women's tag team title opportunity. Oh, yeah. We got to see Lana wrestle for a fucking championship. So, that was that. I didn't give a shit. More likely than not, we are going to see an Elimination Chamber match. And we'll probably see Charlotte win that. We'll see Charlotte win that. And we will see Charlotte and Asuka at WrestleMania. Why? Because WWE cannot bear to see Charlotte Flair without a title opportunity on the grandest stage of them all. Drew McIntyre was interviewed. This was actually a very heartfelt interview here. This was actually a very good interview. He was interviewed, he said to Sheamus, if you're willing to throw away 20 years of friendship, the ups and the downs, spending Christmas Day in a diner because we had nobody else over this, so be it. You want the match? You got it. So I didn't mind this. I didn't mind the promo at all. I actually think that it could be a very nice program if WWE allows them to do what they do. Elias and Jackson Riker. Elias and Jackson Riker versus Jeff Hardy and Carlito. This was really just a standard tag team match. Hardy was isolated. Carlito got the hot tag. He did a few moves. He hit a backstabber, and Hardy and Elias. Hardy pinned Elias to win. Swanton Bomb, and Hardy and Elias win. How many times is that? 4 times? 4 times that Jeff Hardy has defeated Elias. When is enough enough? When is enough enough? Can we fucking move on from Jeff Hardy and Elias? 4 fucking times. And this feud is still going on. Alexa Bliss versus Nikki Cross. Alexa Bliss, once again, being the best character in the women's division right now. Alexa Bliss is doing some excellent stuff. Nikki Cross, she actually took over. She took over before Alexa Bliss answered back with a basement dropkick. Alexa Bliss was actually playing hopscotch, and she hit a soccer-style kick to Cross's gut. Cross tried to fight back. She put the boots to Bliss in the corner before Bliss actually transformed into her 2019-2020 version. And she was kind of luring Nikki Cross in, but Nikki Cross was not falling for it. Cross kept the offense on Bliss before Bliss turned back into Funhouse Bliss. Bliss then hit a Sister Abigail DDT. She hit a Sister Abigail DDT. And she won. And that was pretty much that. I don't know why Nikki Cross is not in the... I don't know why Nikki Cross is not in the women's title hunt. It really does disappoint me. It really does disappoint me that Nikki Cross has just been nothing more than an afterthought. And once again, I stated to you, those women's tag team title runs with Alexa Bliss, those are the only title runs that Nikki Cross is going to have. Those are the only title runs that Nikki Cross will have as long as Vince McMahon is still breathing. And it sucks. It really does suck. So, Randy Orton walked right past Alexa Bliss, and we had Randy Orton versus Edge. This was the main event. So Randy Orton and Edge went right after each other. Edge with an execution for a 2. Randy Orton reversed the spear, hit a nice power slam. He sent Edge into the post. Orton then sent Edge shoulder first into the steps. Coming back from commercial, Orton had Edge on the top. Edge pushed him down, hit a big diving clothesline. That got a 2 count. Edge hit the Edge-O-Matic for 2. Edge sent Orton off of the apron into the barricade. Orton then with a thumb to the eye and a back suplex on the announce table. Edge was being stalked by Orton. He hit a rope drop guillotine and then a draping DDT. He was going for the RKO, he was going for the RKO, but Bliss was on the top rope, and she had blood and like this black gunk coming from her mouth, throwing up black gunk. So I'm assuming that we're headed towards Orton versus The Fiend at WrestleMania, which makes sense because Edge is going to be in a world title match. Orton then turned around, and he got speared, and Edge won, and that was pretty much that. Fairly decent main event, really nothing too special. Outside of the main event and the Raw Tag Team title match, this show was ultimately a lackluster disappointment. A lackluster disappointment of an episode. I don't know what the fuck this show needs in order to improve, but holy shit. Holy shit. It is absolutely ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous. That was pretty much Monday Night Raw for you. Let's check the chat. Let's check the chat. Let us check the chat. I got a lot of fuck Charlotte Flairs. That's what I like to see. Fuck Charlotte Flair and all of her supporters. That's what I like to see. Riddle is basically an underdog, says Cool King. We got... What else we got? Yes, I know, Cool King. They stay making Ali look bad. Miz and Morrison are absolute fucking scrub losers. Absolutely. I guess Aleister Black is still stuck in the closet. Oh my god, tell me about it. Aleister Black is stuck in the closet, but they can find time for Bad Bunny. Alexa Bliss is basically the female fiend with all of the transformation in my games. Very true. We got Efron Cortez Jr. showing up. Please hit that like button. Hibiki, do not worry. Do not worry. I understand. Jobs are important. Trust me. I actually am going back to work tomorrow. It's actually supposed to snow tomorrow here in Jersey. We're supposed to get another 6 inches. We got over 2 feet, and we're supposed to get another 6 inches, so we'll have a combined 3 fucking feet. It's going to take till mid-March for this shit to melt. I'm ranting about fucking... I'm on a wrestling channel, and I'm ranting about fucking snow. So do not worry. I know that jobs are important. Please, do not worry. You don't have to apologize. I'm going to work tomorrow, and then I got work on Monday as well. Back to the usual work. As long as we get that money. The money is what is important. The money in our pockets is what is important. Remember that. Think about that money. I'm glad that I'm able to entertain you, though. That's what I do. I'm an entertainer. I am the entertainer of entertainers. Raw can't even get 2 million viewers during WrestleMania 37 season. How embarrassing is that? But they deserve it because the show sucks. Very true, Adam. We're going to review AEW Dark. And I actually got an exclusive report. Someone in one of my group chats on Twitter actually sent a report. Tony Khan actually explained why AEW Dark is so long. So, Tony Khan was actually on Talk is Jericho. This is an exclusive report. I'm reading this right now. Jericho first brought it up, and Jericho said, and I quote, "I really want to express that if anybody watches Dark, which always does a strong rating, a strong number, sometimes people will say it's 2 hours long or 2.5 hours long. I want to tell everyone the reason for that is, and I'm not just saying this, but Tony Khan is such a good-hearted person that you," he's talking to Khan, "want everyone backstage to have a match, and you want everyone backstage to get a payoff." Tony Khan then added himself, and I quote, "We bring in people to give them tryouts, and we are giving a lot of independent wrestlers work in addition to the tryout people that we want to get a look at and put in specific matches. There's other people we are trying to put the top people from Dynamite and get over matches on Dark. You want to get some local people and keep them working because there's no independent shows for all of these people around Florida and Georgia like there used to be. Just like I said before, Tony Khan is doing this because of the pandemic. He wants to give wrestlers work. He wants to give wrestlers opportunities, which I understand. I just hope that after the pandemic is over, that we go back to the 1 hour form of Dark, where we actually get storylines on Dark, like we were getting before the pandemic, and not just enhancement matches. So that's what I actually hope to see after the pandemic is over. I'll deal with it now. I'll deal with the overbearing format for Dark now, but after Dark is over with the pandemic, after the pandemic is over, we need to go back to the regular format for AEW Dark. Speaking of AEW Dark, I actually watched AEW Dark and tweeted live about it. AEW Dark, we're going to go over that pretty quickly. First match on Dark saw Mbadu. Yes, that is his name. I say it all the time. Mbadu. And TNT versus the Natural Nightmares and Nick Camarado. Camarado actually looked pretty decent here for a little bit. Camarado won with the military press power slam, and that was pretty much that. KC Navarro versus Rey Fenix. Rey Fenix absolutely just dissected KC Navarro. Phoenix won with a beautiful frog splash. Ty Conti versus Tesha Price. Ty Conti, man. Ty Conti. Ty Conti's coming along very, very well. And Ty Conti, I really wouldn't mind seeing Ty Conti versus Sakato Shida for the AEW Women's World Championship. I love Ty Conti. She has really broken out. She's really been a breakout star in the women's division. Ty Conti ended up winning with the Ty KO, and that was pretty much that. We had the waiting room with Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. She talked about Beach Break. She insulted the Young Bucks, and then she introduced Absolute Ricky Starks. I love me some Ricky Starks. A little messing up with the hair. The revolution is televised. I like me some Ricky Starks. He looked sharp. Looked sharp, I will say. Ricky Starks looked pretty sharp. He talked about his street fight at Revolution. They started complimenting each other. Very, very flirty. We had Starks calling Britt Baker the Meghan Markle of AEW. Tony Schiavone even came out, said that they were out of time, and that was pretty much that. Yes, Hibiki, there is a DJ Storms Posse group chat. It's only for the elite members of the DJ Storms Posse. But I don't add people anymore because I don't trust anybody. Anyway, so this waiting room, it was just kind of there. It didn't really do anything. I love the waiting room. I love the waiting room, but it really just didn't do anything. It was just kind of there. This whole episode of AEW Dark was just kind of there. She's right, Hibiki. Dee Dee's right, because the group chat really just is kind of dead right now. It's just kind of dead because like everyone just does their own thing. Everyone's got jobs. Everyone's got lives. So we're not really doing too much in that chat. I just use it to promote my stuff anyway. We had Thunder Rosa versus Danny Jordan. Rosa actually won with the Thunder Driver. Proud and Powerful took on Fuego del Sol and Vadi Morales. We had a Fireman's Carry neckbreaker for the win. Layla Hirsch versus Catalina Perez, cross arm breaker, and Layla Hirsch wins. Very much liking Layla Hirsch. We had my favorite part of Dark, the Acclaimed, top of the chain. The Acclaimed took on Ryzen and Danny Limelight, and I wrote down the rap that Max Caster said. Caster had the mic. He goes, "We gotta fight Ryzen. He got no acclaim. I don't like leather, but I don't kink shame. Yo, you about to get stomped on with your red hair. Got you looking like a tampon." He goes, "Kill the spider on Danny. Oh, wait, that's just a really stupid tattoo. You dealing with Acclaimed, Danny Limelight, let's break down the name. Lime 'cause you bitter and you always upset. Light 'cause you ain't got no muscle on your chest. Acclaim don't step. Everything we do so hot. I'm never gonna drop, and when I'm on the mic, I make Taz pop." So, I love me some Acclaimed. Max Caster's fucking great. The Acclaimed are gonna be great. Acclaim win with the Acclaimed to Fame. That was pretty much that. We had Bear Country and Sonny Kiss and Joey Janela versus Shawn Dean, Baron Black, Aaron Solo, and Mike Verna. The Faces win with a diving elbow drop from Janela. Get fucking Janela away from Sonny Kiss. Janela is so much better away from Sonny Kiss. He's so much better as a singles guy. I know what Janela is capable of. I've interviewed Janela. I've seen Janela wrestle before. Janela is worth so much more than tag teaming with Sonny Kiss. And one thing I will say, I do like Bear Country, though. They're coming along very, very nicely. Ivelisse and Diamante, they defeated Vert Vexen and Jasmine Allure with the double roundhouse kicks to Jasmine Allure by Ivelisse and Diamante. John Skyler and Ray Jazz, they took on the Gun Club. Colton and Billy win with the back body drop neck breaker. Alex Gracia took on Red Velvet. Red Velvet, I fucking love Red Velvet. Red Velvet's doing great. Red Velvet is another breakout star. It's her and Ty Conti. Her and Ty Conti, two breakout stars in the women's division right there. 10 took on Jake St. Patrick. 10 actually won with a spinebuster deadlift powerbomb combo. And then Chaos Project took on SCU. SCU ended up winning with the Celebrity Rehab, and SCU continues their run as a tag team. I do think that SCU are going to have an eventual tag team title opportunity. More likely than not, they're going to lose, and that's pretty much that. That was AEW Dark for you. Same shit that they've been doing. Let's check the chat. Let's check the chat before we move on to AEW Beach Break. Why is it that we're still stuck at 17 likes before I actually check the chat? Why is it that we're still stuck at 17 likes? 30 is the goal here, people. Come on. I have you guys for a reason. Share it out. Danielle, is Adeltus Way in here? Is Adeltus Way in here? Dee, is Adeltus Way in here? Come on. So, Cool King, yeah, I don't know why you keep on getting suspended, Cool King. I mean, Twitter really is a bunch of snowflakes. Here's the thing. Here's the thing, Hibiki. Listen, I don't mind it now, but once the pandemic is over, they need to go back to the 1 hour form for AEW Dark, and then 4 to 5 matches. That's it. Kobe Talks, you actually joined at a very good time. How you doing? You just gave us our 18th like. How are you? Dee, is Adeltus Way in the chat? Please, I want to know. Adeltus Way, Rick from Adeltus Way. If you're in the chat, please make yourself known. If Chino's in the chat too, please make yourself known. Or at least hit the like button so I know that you're here. Oh, and by the way, Dee, I also miss Jess too. I don't know where Jess is. I really don't know where Jess is. I miss Jess. I realize that she's been working, but man, do I miss her. She always happens to bring a smile to my face. Please share it on Twitter if you can. We want to get to 30 likes. David Maniscalco just shared it on Twitter. David Maniscalco, you are absolutely fucking awesome. You are fucking awesome. So, what's going on? Yes, we're going to talk Beach Break. We are absolutely talking Beach Break. Beach Break. AEW Beach Break. We got a lot of people talking about Beach Break. I'll check the chat after we talk about Beach Break, but man, Beach Break, they did a very admirable job with Beach Break, minus a few things. Wasn't a perfect show, and we're going to dissect everything. Wasn't a perfect show, but we are going to dissect everything AEW Beach Break related. Beach Break actually started off with a #1 contenders tag team battle royal, and this was to determine the Young Bucks challengers at Revolution. And the Young Bucks were actually in here. If the Young Bucks won, they were able to choose their own opponents, which I didn't mind. It actually made sense. So the Bucks actually came out and jumped on everyone. That's how this match started. Complete chaos. So, we had a big brawl starting. Reynolds and Dante Martin got eliminated. Silver actually eliminated Jake Hager within 3 minutes. So, here's what I want to say. Here's what I really want to say. It really does tell you how high they are on John Silver, how much management loves John Silver, that he eliminated Hager that early. And I'm very, very happy that Silver actually got that elimination. Very, very happy to see Silver getting these opportunities. Matt Jackson was back body dropped on the stage. He was eliminated. Luchasaurus started lighting up everyone. He actually chokeslammed Grayson out of the ring. Silver and Uno actually took out Luchasaurus. So Silver took out Hager and Luchasaurus. Uno got taken out. Mark Quinn was eliminated. Santana and Ortiz got eliminated. Or no, Santana and Ortiz actually eliminated Silver, so it did take 2 people to eliminate him. Nick Jackson got eliminated. No, he actually eliminated Ortiz, and then he super kicked Santana out. The Good Brothers came out. They eliminated Isaiah Cassidy, obviously playing up their storyline on Impact, because Isaiah Cassidy and Mark Quinn will challenge the Good Brothers for the Impact Tag Team titles. Nick Jackson was distracted, and MJF actually eliminated him and did the Young Bucks pose, which was fantastic. I fucking love MJF. Sammy, MJF, and Jericho were left from the Inner Circle. We had Max Caster, Jungle Boy, and Darius Martin, not Dante Martin, Darius Martin left. MJF then took out Jungle Boy, and he did the Tarzan chest bang. MJF again, fucking fantastic. Sammy then super kicked Max Caster over the top rope. Caster then was eliminated by MJF. Oh no, Caster actually eliminated MJF. Sammy super kicked Caster, but Caster actually eliminated MJF. Darius Martin then eliminated Caster, and we were down to 2 after Sammy was eliminated accidentally. We were down to Darius Martin and Jericho, and the fact that Darius Martin was left, that really does show you how high they are on Mr. Darius Martin. Darius Martin ended up getting caught with a Judas effect, and Jericho and MJF, yes, Jericho and MJF win the Tag Team Battle Royal, a very, very fun Tag Team Battle Royal here. I got no complaints about this Battle Royal, and at Revolution, we are getting Jericho and MJF versus the Young Bucks for the AEW World Tag Team titles. I do not mind that whatsoever. I think this is a great move. This is definitely going to add on top of the Inner Circle storyline that's already brewing. There's 2 routes that I can see them going. We could possibly see MJF and Jericho win the titles, and maybe that could be the spark of something. Maybe that could see some tension in the Inner Circle. Maybe some people get kicked out of the Inner Circle. We did see a backstage promo where MJF was talking to Hager, Santana, and Ortiz, and Wardlow actually pushed the cameraman out. Maybe that could happen. Maybe Jericho and MJF win the titles, or think about this. They have been building towards Sammy and MJF from day one. Since day one, Sammy Guevara has always been the one that has rejected MJF. Even after MJF has been in the Inner Circle for 3 months now, Sammy has still rejected him. Now what happens if Sammy Guevara inadvertently or intentionally costs MJF and Jericho the tag team titles at Revolution, and then we get to MJF versus Sammy Guevara? I don't know. There's multiple routes that they can go, but the unpredictability is what we are heavily invested in. The unpredictability is what we are heavily invested in, and that's what I like to see. Ultimately, that's what I like to see. This was a very fun battle royal. Jericho and MJF win, and they could go 2 routes there. You could have Jericho and MJF win the titles, or Sammy could possibly cost them. And if I'm banking on it, I wouldn't mind Sammy Guevara to cost them. And we get Sammy and MJF. Loser gets kicked out of the Inner Circle. That's a great storyline right there. I don't mind that. Moving on, we had Tony Schiavone introducing Darby Allin and Sting. And Tony announced how Darby is defending the title next week against Joey Janela. And listen. Like I said before, I love Joey Janela. Joey is great. Joey's legit. I've met Joey Janela. I've interviewed Joey Janela. I got a signed frame picture of Joey Janela in my room. The guy's great. The guy absolutely deserves more on AEW. But what the fuck has he done to earn a title opportunity? He's been losing tag team matches with Sonny Kiss for God knows how long. Why is Joey Janela getting this opportunity? He hasn't been winning any matches on Dark. If he's been on a winning streak on Dark, yeah, I would understand that. But why is he getting this opportunity? It's just out of the blue. I understand that Darby needs to defend the title. Are we going to get a good match? Yeah, we're going to get a good match. It's going to be a great match. But why the fuck are we getting this when Joey Janela's done nothing to earn a title opportunity? It just came out of fucking nowhere. If you're going to give Joey a title opportunity, have him win some matches on AEW Dark. He's been winning no matches. He's been losing with fucking Joey Janela and Sonny Kiss in that tag team. He's been losing in that tag team for God knows how long. You need to build up wins. I don't know why they did that. But Team Taz actually were outside the building. They came up on the Titantron. They were banned from the building after they attacked the merch guys last week. Starks, he says that he doesn't think the Icon still has it. He doesn't look at Sting and still see the Icon from the past. You will get hurt playing in the jungle. So Sting took the mic and he said, okay, Team Taz, if you're going to be here next week, I'll be here next week because I'm going to make sure that it's a one-on-one match. Secondly, Ricky, you don't see the Icon anymore. Maybe you need to take a closer look. So that was pretty much that. Short, sweet, and to the point. Really nothing too special. After that, we had Thunder Rosa versus Britt Baker. And a lot of people had high hopes for this match, and we ended up getting a great women's match. It was probably the best overall match of the night. Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker, probably the best overall match of the night. This was a very, very, very good match. These two worked very, very well together. Rosa went right after Britt Baker. Baker caught a shotgun drop kick in the corner by Thunder Rosa. Looked brutal. And then she actually caught a cannonball for a two. Baker took over control before Rosa hit a Death Valley driver. Death Valley driver on the ramp. Rosa then with a Meteor and a basement drop kick for a two. We then had a Sling Blade and a super kick by Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. Rosa then got dropped with an air raid crash. Very nice air raid crash for a two. Baker then with a curb stomp. She rolled up Rosa, but Baker was able to kick out of Rosa's roll-up. Rosa then fought out of it into a back suplex. We had a Death Valley driver by Rosa for a two. Rebel then got involved, and she actually took the middle turnbuckle, the turnbuckle pad off. So the ref didn't see it. Rosa got dropped with an STO, face first into the turnbuckle. Baker took over, and she applied the lockjaw, but Rosa was already out. And Baker ended up beating Thunder Rosa. And overall, I would say Britt Baker, she passed her test with flying colors. This right here, this was a test run to see if Britt Baker could really hang with the big girls, to see if she could hang with someone like Thunder Rosa. And overall, throughout the last year, Baker has come such a long way from where she was at the start of AEW. And I'm very, very, very pleased to see Britt Baker grow and mature. And overall, I'm telling you right now, Britt Baker, that world title eliminator for the women, that's hers. And Britt Baker's going to win, and Britt Baker is going on to face off against none other than Hikaru Shida at Revolution. And at Revolution, Britt Baker will be your new AEW Women's World Champion. Just watch. Sammy Guevara was in the back with the Inner Circle, and he actually questioned why they're always collateral damage. Sometimes I'm not so sure that we're all in this together. And MJF said, hey boys, we need to have a conversation, and Wardlow actually pushed the cameraman out. So that's actually very, very interesting. Very, very interesting indeed. Could we possibly see a double turn? Could Jericho and Sammy both get kicked out of the Inner Circle? Do we see MJF take over the Inner Circle? I don't know. But things are shaping up to be very, very, very intriguing. I actually love what they're doing. We had the wedding of Kip Sabian and Penelope Ford. Jerry Lynn escorted Penelope Ford to the ring. The minister was James Mitchell, and James Mitchell undoubtedly was the best thing about this segment. James Mitchell was fucking hilarious. So Kip Sabian and Penelope Ford started sharing their wedding vows. Kip was his usual self. Penelope was about to say something about Kip Sabian's wink wink, you know what. His big you know what I mean. You know what I'm talking about. Miro then gave Kip and Ford the rings. We had James Mitchell actually making some funny jokes. He was like, do you take this rapscallion to be your lawfully wedded husband, to have and to grope through kayfabe and all? Which was very funny. I'm not going to lie. That was funny. James Mitchell made the whole thing. They said, I do. Then he said, if there's anyone that objects to these two being married, please speak now or forever hold your peace. And Miro's like, no. I've been down this road before. We're not doing that. So Miro, obviously, with the shot at WWE. So Miro had Charles, the butler, bring over some drinks. Miro said that my knowledge, Kip, is your present. Miro then pointed out a life-size present, and he took out the present. Because he thought Orange Cassidy was in it. The crowd started singing, What is Love? And Miro started singing along with the crowd, What is love? That was pretty funny. Miro then got shackled to the bottom rope. Orange Cassidy came out of the table with the cake on it. Penelope went into the cake. Charles the butler then attacked Kip Sabian, and Cassidy hit the beach break on Kip Sabian, and Cassidy and Chuck Taylor, they stood tall. And that was pretty much that. That was that. James Mitchell was okay, but this was the same stereotypical wedding that we are always accustomed to. Same shit that we always see. We were fine with James Mitchell. We were just waiting for Orange Cassidy to show up because we knew Orange Cassidy was going to show up. That was pretty much that. Who cares? This is why people are so against pro wrestling weddings. The storyline is undoubtedly the worst storyline in all of AEW right now, but we're just waiting for the match between Orange Cassidy and Miro to be announced because that's going to be a great match. That's going to be an excellent match. Shaq and Jade Cargill versus Cody and Red Velvet. That was announced for Dynamite on March 3rd. So it's not taking place at Revolution. And you know what? I'm not going to complain about that. I can live with that. I'm actually going to say, you know what? Fine. I'm living with that. I'm going to deal with it. I'm not going to complain. If we get it on Dynamite and not a pay-per-view, I understand why they're doing this. I'm happy that Red Velvet's getting an opportunity and Jade Cargill's getting an opportunity. I don't fucking want to see Shaq wrestle, but you know what? If it's going to be on Dynamite and Revolution, I'm not going to complain about it. I'm not going to complain about it. We had Eddie Kingston versus Lance Archer. This was a lumberjack match. This was undoubtedly an overly convoluted fucking mess. This was completely unfucking necessary. Completely all over the place. Not a very good match at all. This was probably the worst thing on the show next to the wedding. Archer did an Undertaker dive over the top rope onto the pile of lumberjacks. Archer kept the pressure on Kingston. Kingston then with a spinning back fist. He actually saved the bunny from taking a blackout. Kingston with an exploder suplex. Blade came in and brought in the table, but Bear Bronson speared him through the table. Uranagi by Archer for a 2. Archer ended up hitting the blackout for the win. Archer got the win. Not a very good match. Really not a very good match whatsoever. I don't know what the fuck they're doing with Lance Archer. I don't know what the fuck they're doing with Eddie Kingston. More likely than not, this is the end of the feud. We might get another match at Revolution. I don't know. But Lance Archer's actually getting involved with Jon Moxley, Kenta, and Kenny Omega next week. So that's going to be a Falls Count Anywhere match next week between those 4 men. Tag team match. But this was not a very good match. This was all over the place. Too fucking chaotic. Every single lumberjack match is just the same. I really don't know why bother even having them. The lumberjack match is just something that I wish AEW would just abolish. It's not good. I'm sorry. It's just not good. Next week we have Jericho and MJF versus The Acclaimed. We also got Cody and Lee Johnson versus Peter Avalon and Cesar Bononi. Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers took on Jon Moxley, Pac, and Rey Fenix. This was an absolutely excellent main event match here for AEW Dynamite Beach Break. Moxley was lighting up Carl Anderson. He lit up Carl Anderson with a big X-Plex and a big Tope Suicida, taking out the Good Brothers. We had Moxley then getting isolated. Moxley made the tag to Phoenix. He lit up everyone. Big drop kick and a diving headbutt to Anderson. Pac then came in with a shotgun drop kick. Pac and Phoenix with 2 moonsaults to the Good Brothers. We had a roll-through cutter on Omega for a 2. Omega and the Good Brothers then took it to Pac. We had a sit-down powerbomb to Pac for a 2. A V-trigger connected, but Pac was able to fight out of it. Moxley and Phoenix and Pac with a flurry of offense, which ended in a bridging German suplex for a 2. We had a huge Tope Con Hero by Phoenix on Anderson. Pac with a 450 on Omega as he pinned Moxley, which looked fucking fantastic. We had a gun stun by Moxley. A moonsault on Anderson for a 2 by Phoenix. Phoenix went for a dive, but Anderson caught him with a spine buster. We had a magic killer by the Good Brothers, and the Good Brothers pin Rey Fenix to get the win, and the Good Brothers win it. Good Brothers pin Rey Fenix, and the Good Brothers beat Phoenix, Pac, and Moxley. Kenny Omega was then continuing the assault before Lance Archer came out to save Phoenix. He came in, he was clearing house. Moxley came out, and he was going to take it to Omega, but out of nowhere, he got blindsided. He got blindsided by a masked figure, and he took off the mask, and it was Kenta. Yes, Kenta came out. He is the #1 contender for Jon Moxley's IWGP Heavyweight Championship, and he hit the GTS on Moxley. Fantastic stuff right here. The Forbidden Door is now open. We are getting an AEW, New Japan Pro Wrestling partnership, and Kenta will be on Dynamite next week. We could potentially see Kenta and Jon Moxley possibly at Revolution. I don't know. Possibly see that. But I don't see that happening. I actually see Jon Moxley facing off against none other than Kenny Omega at Revolution. That was AEW Dynamite. Good show. Good show, minus the wedding and the lumberjack match. Good show. Let's check the chat before we move on to NXT. So, we got Big Boy Johnny. Big Boy Johnny, and Stevie, little Stevie. My man, little Stevie's here. If you guys haven't hit that like button, Johnny's here and Stevie's here. Please hit the like button if you haven't already done so. We need 2 likes right there. We need to get to 20. Stevie, my man Stevie, he's going to be on the channel next Friday. He's going to be on the channel next Friday for the rundown for NXT TakeOver Vengeance Day. So people, set your calendar dates there because NXT TakeOver Vengeance Day is going to be lit. Me and Stevie are going to be lighting you up with the best possible analytics on this fucking planet. We got 19 likes already. Big Boy Johnny, you are here. Please hit that like button. Stevie, hit that like button. Thank you for joining. We are going to dissect NXT in just a minute. Jay the Boss, if you're still here, please hit that like button. Cool King says, hopefully Miro gets the AEW World title soon. I hope for that too. Yeah, the Good Brothers. They're in the background right here. I got the Elimination Chamber from last year actually playing in the background. This was Elimination Chamber 2020. And we made it to 20 likes. We made it to 20 likes. You guys are absolute fucking beasts. We made it to 20 likes, but that's still not enough. We need to make it to 30 likes. My phone is blowing up. Twitter's actually blowing up. We need more likes in here. You already know, Cool King. You already know. We got one of my chats growing up. One of my chats blowing up, actually. A lot of people. Lot of things to talk about, let me tell you. A lot of things to talk about. So, we got NXT to talk about. It's going to be pack. It's going to be pack. Absolutely, it's going to be pack. But we got to talk about some NXT. We are on the road to NXT TakeOver Vengeance Day, and there was a lot to dissect for NXT, actually. NXT was actually a fairly good show. It wasn't the best, but they were all business. I will give NXT a lot of credit. NXT, Triple H has made sure that NXT has been all business. No main roster bullshit. No crazy over-the-top comedic segments. It's been straightforward. It's been real. It's been legit. NXT has been all business, I will say. So, NXT kicked off with Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai versus Kacy Catanzaro and Kaden Carter. This was a Women's Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic semifinals matchup. Kacy was being ragdolled by Raquel, and let me tell you something, it really does help that Kacy is small. So her being ragdolled by Raquel, that's a very nice sight. So Kai isolated Kacy before Carter got the hot tag. She took the fight to both women. Arm drag, Hurricane Rana, rolled through into a super kick. Carter was then stopped dead in her tracks by Raquel. She was isolated before Kacy got the hot tag. She caught a big Hurricane Rana, flipping axe kick to the back. Kacy actually jumped off the steel pillar. She actually jumped off the steel pillar onto Kai and Gonzalez. We had a cover on Dakota Kai, but she kicked out. We had an assisted go-to kick on Carter. Kacy was able to save the match. We had a heat seeker on Gonzalez, a drop kick, a spike Rana, and then Kacy hit the corkscrew moonsault senton, and Gonzalez actually kicked out. Kai got Carter. Kai actually took out Kaden Carter. Kacy Catanzaro, she got fucking dropped with a one-armed powerbomb. She got dropped with a one-armed powerbomb, and Kacy and Kaden, let me tell you something, even though they lost, they did very, very well. This was a very good match. They had the 2 best matches of the tournament thus far. Kacy and Kaden had the 2 best matches of the Women's Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic Cup. So I got to give them credit there. I really got to give them credit. Gonzalez and Kai win as expected. Kacy and Kaden, they look great. They looked great. This was a very, very, very good match right here. And Raquel and Kai, they are my picks. And I do see them winning the Women's Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic at TakeOver Vengeance Day. And I absolutely see them facing Nia and Shayna, possibly, and winning the women's tag team titles. Makes sense. So, show kicked off with a very good women's tag team match. We then had Austin Theory versus Leon Ruff. This was a rather quick match. Short, sweet, and to the point here. Theory chopped down Ruff before Ruff came back with a forearm. Low super kick. He ended up taking out Johnny. Missile drop kick to Theory before Ruff fell to the outside. Shotzi Blackheart and Ember Moon and The Way came out. They got into a little brawl. Ruff actually pulled an Eddie Guerrero, and the ref ejected Gargano. We had a springboard cutter on Theory, but he got his foot on the rope. Theory then dropped Ruff with the ATL. Austin Theory gets the win. Clean win. Very, very happy that he got a clean win. Austin Theory gets a nice clean win. Afterwards, he hit the ATL on Ruff again, and he was going to go for a chair, but out of nowhere, Dexter Lumis came out, and he tried to lock in the silence on Austin Theory, but he ripped out Theory's hair, and then Theory ran off. So, I'm guessing Dexter Lumis is going to be built up in the interim in a feud with Austin Theory. So, I definitely wouldn't mind that. I think Dexter Lumis is fantastic. And a match with Theory, I'm actually very interested in. That should be a damn good match right there. And you know that they got to be high on Dexter Lumis. They're keeping him around the NXT North American title picture. They're keeping him around the title picture. He's floating around Gargano. He's floating around Austin Theory. You know that they are high on Leon Ruff. No, not Leon Ruff. Not Leon Ruff. Dexter Lumis. Dexter Lumis is going to be a bigger star down the line. We'll see what happens with Austin Theory. Austin Theory, he'll be at the top in due time. He'll be North American champion in due time. But right now, it's all about Dexter Lumis. We had Tian Sha. Tian Sha is the mystery woman. She is the mystery woman that is mentoring Xia Li and Boa. So apparently she's like an ancient woman from thousands of years ago or something like that. But I don't mind that. I don't mind this at all. I don't really mind it. I think that this gimmick could actually take Xia Li to that next level. And I do hope we see more of Xia Li. I do hope that we do see Xia Li potentially fighting maybe Io Shirai down the line. I wouldn't mind that. So then we had Legado del Fantasma versus Lucha House Party. This was a quarterfinal matchup of the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. This was fun. Couple of botches here and there, a couple of miscues here and there, but it was okay for what it was. It was fun for what it was. We had Metalik lighten up Mendoza before Wild and Mendoza took over. Metalik with a sunset flip powerbomb. Dorado then got the hot tag. Dorado with a crossbody for a 2. He hit the golden rewind on Joaquin Wilde. That got a 2 count. Wilde then with a DDT on Dorado and then an arm drag to Metalik. Metalik then Hurricane Rana Mendoza off the top onto Wilde on the outside. Dorado then with a moonsault to follow. Legado del Fantasma were down. Legado del Fantasma took over control. Metalik was out. And they hit the Russian leg sweep Enziguri combination. And Legado del Fantasma advance. Right decision. Very fun match right here. A couple botches here and there. You knew that you were going to get a couple botches here and there when you have all these high-risk maneuvers. But still, fun match. Not as good as Lucha House Party's match with Imperium, but still a very fun match. Lucha House Party, they do the job. Legado del Fantasma Very, very happy that Legado del Fantasma is in the priority spotlight. I think that they are a great tag team. I think they're doing some great stuff. And this partnership with Santos Escobar finally starting to pay off. Very, very happy that they are in the spotlight on NXT. I'm very, very happy they're more of a priority now. Legado del Fantasma versus MSK next week. It's going to be a very good match right there. It's going to be a very interesting match. And MSK, I can see them going to the finals to face off against the grizzled young veterans. Pete Dunne, Oney Lorcan, and Danny Burch then came out. Pete Dunne took the mic. And he said, I told Finn Balor to his face I wasn't waiting, but he didn't listen. So last week, I delivered the message again. I snapped his fingers. Don't force me to make it any more clear than that. Finn Balor then came out, and he said, Pete, you say you're waiting, but you're still hiding behind them two clowns. Pete said, I don't hide behind anyone. Balor said, doesn't look like it to me. So Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch, they left. Lorcan and Danny Burch left. Dunne said, you better hold on to that championship tight because the first chance I get, it's mine. Balor said, you got your chance at TakeOver Vengeance Day. Pete Dunne versus Finn Balor for the NXT Championship. Edge then came out. He was very, very excited. He says, this feels good. Here in NXT, we focus on that second W in WWE. And that's fun. For years, I saw passion, hunger, and fire in the eyes of everyone here. This place helped me find my passion to get my career back after 9 years. And I used that passion to win the Royal Rumble. And that allows me to challenge any champion in this company. I look at you two and I see two of the damn best. I look at you, he was talking to Pete Dunne, I look at you and I see me in you, the good, the bad, and if I was your age, I would have shrugged my shoulders too, kid. And then I look at you and I see a guy that's operating on an entirely different level. I'm going to be watching your match at TakeOver because I've never held that. No matter who wins, that is intriguing, and this fight may just cause me to make my choice. And that was the segment. So, let me just say this. Edge was on NXT for ratings, and ratings alone. It didn't work, but Edge was on NXT for ratings and ratings alone. We all know this. We all know that it's desperation. We all know that it is just a complete mess with NXT, and they always need to bring in Edge for ratings, or they're bringing in someone from outside of NXT for ratings, or they're doing a match for ratings, or they're doing a storyline for ratings. I get you're trying to keep it interesting, but let's keep it real here. Edge was on NXT for ratings, and it didn't work. But I will say this. I appreciate the fact that Triple H, he used Edge in a manner to put over Finn Balor, Pete Dunne, the NXT Championship, and NXT as a whole. Matter of fact, Edge put over NXT more in 2 minutes than Charlotte put over NXT in 2 months when she was the NXT Women's Champion. So you know what? I like that. I like this. I like what they did here. I like the fact that Edge goes, I see you two and I see two of the damn best. He looked at Finn Balor. I see you. operating on an entirely different level, and that is intriguing. I actually like that. And we got a match between Balor and Dunne at TakeOver Vengeance Day, and Edge comes out, and he's making Pete Dunne feel important. He's making Finn Balor feel important. He's saying that here in NXT, we focus on that second W. We focus on wrestling, and that's fun. And I saw passion, fire, and hunger, and this place helped me get my career back after 9 years. That I can appreciate. That I can appreciate. And I like the fact that Edge put over Finn Balor, Dunne, NXT, and the NXT Championship. I have to give a lot of credit to Triple H. He used Edge properly. I'll give him credit where credit's due. Edge put over Finn Balor, Dunne, and NXT. I didn't mind this segment. I didn't mind it. Kushida and Gargano got into a brawl. Kushida and Gargano at TakeOver is confirmed. Toni Storm took on Jessie Kamea. Mercedes Martinez got involved. She caused the DQ before Io Shirai came out. She took out both women with a moonsault, and that was pretty much that. That just felt unnecessary. I get that you're trying to sell the match, but it really just felt unnecessary. We didn't really need this. I would have given more time to the Cruiserweight title match. Speaking of the Cruiserweight title match, well, actually, before the Cruiserweight title match, my man's returning next week. Well, let me tell you something. Next week, you gonna see the return of Cameron Grimes. And next week, when I make my return, it don't matter who I be facing, because next week, Cameron Grimes is making his return to NXT, and Cameron Grimes is going to the moon. Cameron Grimes is returning next week. How I miss Cameron Grimes. How I missed Cameron Grimes. Gotta love him. Gotta love that redneck. Kurt Stallion took on Santos Escobar for the NXT Cruiserweight Championship. This was good. Nothing too overbearing, but it was good for what it was. It did its job. Scarlett was actually watching from the crowd. Escobar tried to dissect Stallion. We had a vertical suplex. Stallion fought back, hit a very nice German suplex, and a suicide missile dive. We had a big splash by Stallion for a 2. Listen, Kurt Stallion's a very good wrestler, but man, does he look like an enhancement talent. We had Escobar taking over control with a suplex into the turnbuckle by Escobar. Escobar went for Phantom Driver. Stallion fought out of it. He hit a headbutt. Escobar with the thrust kick, the Phantom Driver, and then the Butterfly Shoulder Breaker, and Escobar gets the victory over Kurt Stallion. Very happy to see Escobar and Legado del Fantasma as more of a priority on NXT. Afterwards, Karrion Kross ended up coming out. He took out Wilde and Mendoza, and then Kross actually stood face-to-face with Escobar. And he says, "Seems like we have an ever-growing problem. I'm going to give you the gift of time. Time to think about the inevitable. Run along. Tick-tock." And Escobar backed off. Listen, like I said, I'm happy to see that Legado del Fantasma and Santos Escobar in the Cruiserweight title. I'm happy to see that it's more of a priority. But are you really going to feed him and Legado del Fantasma to Karrion Kross? I understand that Kross needs people to beat, and I understand Kross needs to continue to build up momentum before he eventually gets to Finn Balor in the NXT title. He's only won 3 matches since he's come back. You need to continue to build on those wins. He needs to get more wins. But at the end of the day, I mean, come on. You really going to sacrifice Legado del Fantasma just to build up Santos Escobar? Come on. That is a terrible fucking idea. Edge and Karrion Kross actually had a few words backstage. Kross actually told Edge that he's taking back the title he never lost, and Edge says words like that motivate him. Motivation to come back here. So, we're not getting Edge and Karrion Kross. Edge should not be challenging for the NXT Championship. Let's get that out of the way. And then in the main event, we had the Undisputed Era versus Tommaso Ciampa and Timothy Thatcher. This was the final quarterfinals Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic matchup. Ciampa and Thatcher took over control early. Thatcher dissected Strong. Strong with a superplex to Thatcher before Cole got the hot tag. Nice backstabber for a 2. Knee drop brainbuster. Then we had Ciampa kicking out. We had a figure 4 on Thatcher and a stronghold on Ciampa. Ciampa fought out of it and saved his partner. We had a German suplex by Thatcher and a big knee by Ciampa. Strong was able to kick out. We had a super kick to Thatcher. Super kick and a high knee combo by the Undisputed Era, but Ciampa kicked out. We had the end of Heartache. Thatcher then got dropped over the barricade. Cole was out. Strong tried to get back in the ring, but he caught Willow's bell. And Ciampa and Thatcher ended up winning. This actually shocked me. I was not expecting Ciampa and Thatcher to win. I'm actually disappointed that the Undisputed Era lost because I would have actually loved to see Cole and Roderick Strong versus the Grizzled Young Veterans because we've never seen that. We've never ever seen that. So I would have loved to seen that match personally. I'm actually disappointed that we're not seeing it, but the match was still good. Tommaso Ciampa and Timothy Thatcher should not be winning the semifinals match. It should be Grizzled Young Veterans, and the Grizzled Young Veterans are the correct winners of the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. They came up short last year. You're not going to do it again this year. But the main event was very good. Next week we got Thatcher and Ciampa versus Grizzled Young Veterans and MSK versus Legado del Fantasma. And then at TakeOver, more likely than not, we'll have MSK versus Grizzled Young Veterans. That I am very intrigued with. That's going to be great. NXT overall, decent episode. Very good stuff here. Nice wrestling. The Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classics have definitely given the show life. And that was pretty much that. Stevie, listen, I love you, but it is absolutely a sacrifice. Escobar shouldn't be losing. He's a champion. Champions don't lose. Champions don't lose. Legado del Fantasma should not be in a program with Karrion Kross. It's going to end one way and one way only. Karrion Kross decimates them. Escobar should not be losing. Champions should not lose. Everyone's excited for the return of Cameron Grimes. I see. Who wouldn't be excited? No exceptions. No exceptions, dude. There is no exceptions. There is no exceptions. No exceptions for Kross. There's nothing stopping them from giving them someone else. You can feed Leon Ruff to Karrion Kross. You can feed fucking Austin Theory to Karrion Kross. You can feed fucking Desmond Troy to Karrion Kross. He doesn't have to beat Legado del Fantasma. You can feed August Gray. You can feed Bronson Reed to Karrion Kross. You're not putting an exception on Karrion Kross. Champions do not lose. End of conversation there. You don't put an exception on Karrion Kross. There is no fucking exceptions. Let's talk about NXT UK. Let's talk about NXT UK, which really wasn't that good. NXT UK really wasn't that good. This episode of NXT UK just felt boring and lackluster. It just felt like it was merely a bunch of enhancement matches for the talent. We had Xia Brookside versus Nina Samuels. This episode honestly felt like another episode of AEW Dark. So we had Xia Brookside and Nina Samuels. Nina Samuels ended up winning here. Nina Samuels won when she took a makeup bag and behind the referee's back, we had Nina Samuels hitting Xia Brookside with a makeup bag, and then a schoolgirl pin for the win. Nina Samuels beats Xia Brookside. The feud keeps on going. We had Josh Morale versus Joseph Connors. Morale actually looked pretty decent here. He ain't going anywhere. We had a straightjacket neckbreaker by Connors for a 2. I don't really know where this is going. I'm not really sure what's going on with Joseph Connors, but I don't see him going anywhere. Ilya Dragunov, he took on Tyson T-Bone. Tyson T-Bone didn't look half bad here, I will say. Tyson T-Bone, he went right on the offense. Sam Gradwell came out. He was mocking Ilya Dragunov. He was saying, temper, temper, don't lose yourself. Dragunov with a big forearm. Tyson T-Bone with a very nice exploder. A fall-away slam. Dragunov came back with an enziguri. Tyson T-Bone with a nice back suplex. Dragunov with an enziguri. A back suplex. Half Nelson suplex by Tyson T-Bone, actually. His eyes then started to change when Tyson T-Bone chopped him in the back of the neck. Dragunov then with elbows to the neck of Tyson T-Bone. The bell rang. Gradwell was still mocking Ilya Dragunov until Ilya Dragunov had enough and booted Sam Gradwell in the face. And that was pretty much that. So, Gradwell versus Dragunov, that should be interesting. Gradwell versus Dragunov should be interesting. I don't know what's going to happen there, but it should be interesting. It seems as though they're setting up a lot of material for NXT UK for later on. Next week's episode of NXT UK actually looks better because next week we got the arrival of Meiko Satomura. That should be great. Danny Jones, he took on Joe Coffey. Joe Coffey decimated him with Aura Best for the Bells. He took the mic and he said, last week I crossed paths with Rampage Brown. It got the sparks flying. If you want to make a name for yourself here, you need to hit someone so hard they don't want to get back up again. And I'm the last man standing. Rampage Brown then came out and he said, all you had to do was ask, mate. Anytime, anywhere. So Rampage Brown and Joe Coffey, that's very intriguing. That I don't mind. Rampage Brown is beating Walter, Stevie. Rampage Brown is going to be the one to do it. Next week, we got The Hunt versus Webster and Andrews. This is going to be a street fight next week. That should be great. We also got Supernova 11 sessions with Shaw Samuels. And then in the main event, we had Jordan Devlin versus Dave Mastiff. Jordan Devlin versus Dave Mastiff. This was a bait and switch because we all thought that we were going to get the Cruiserweight title open challenge, but we didn't end up getting that, and it was just a one-on-one match with Jordan Devlin and Dave Mastiff, which I didn't mind. It was a very good match. It was probably the best thing on the show from an in-ring perspective. Very good match. But, I mean, come on. If you're going to do a Cruiserweight title open challenge, like, don't bait and switch everyone. That's WWE main roster tactics. Come on. So, the match itself, though, was very good. Mastiff got chopped in the leg. That was the main focus of Jordan Devlin during this match. Mastiff with a shoulder block from the middle rope and a back body drop to Jordan Devlin with a big Beal. Devlin then Hurricane Rana'd Mastiff over the top. Mastiff with a rolling senton on the floor. He went for Into the Void, but Jordan Devlin moved and Mastiff went sailing right into the fucking barricade. Devlin made it back in. Mastiff made it back in. Mastiff went up to the top, actually. He went up to the top, and he hit a diving headbutt on Jordan Devlin, which looked great, but Jordan Devlin was able to kick out. Devlin came back with a slingshot cutter and a fucking beautiful 450 splash. Jordan Devlin, beautiful fucking 450, and Jordan Devlin wins. Very good match. Probably the best thing on the show. The only thing I would say to go back and watch. If you didn't watch Jordan Devlin versus Dave Mastiff, I would go back and watch it. Other than that, the show was not very good. Really just felt like another episode of AEW Dark. It was lackluster. It was just there. It was not very exciting at all. I don't really know why. I'm guessing it's because of the fact that they wanted to take a little bit of a break. I don't know what's going to happen, but it really wasn't that good. It wasn't necessarily, it wasn't horrible. I mean, give me a break. I know what a fucking horrible show is. I watch Monday Night Raw every single fucking week, but it was just there. It was not up to par with what NXT UK is all about. You know what I mean? We are coming to the end of the stream, and we're still at 20 likes. That's a problem! Why are we still at 20 likes? Why aren't we at least 25? I mean, it's past 3 o'clock. Come on. Come on. Come on, people. Come on. What do you think? What do you think this is? You think this is, you think you could just come in here and just reap in the benefits for free? You think you could just reap in the benefits of my entertainment for free? Come on. You need to get my word out there. You tried. No. Dee, I don't blame you. You're fine. I'm not saying anything negative about you. I'm just saying, you know, it seems as though you're the only one that's putting the effort. Seems as though you're the only one that's putting the effort into what's going on over here. I mean, come on. 20? Only 20? So that's lackluster. That ain't up to par. We need to get at least to 50 likes. Come on. That is not up to par with what we do here. Not up to par with what we do here, people. Come on. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. But anyway, we are going to talk about SmackDown in just a little bit. We're going to talk about SmackDown in just a little bit. But I have celebs lurking. Yeah, they should like. Rick and Chino. Rick from Adeltas Way and Chino. Where are you? Come on. Where are you? Danielle sent you here for a reason. No. Listen, I understand you. I completely understand you. I ain't blaming you. I ain't blaming you whatsoever. I ain't blaming you whatsoever, brother. You're fine. Maybe you'll get back on Twitter sooner rather than later. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens there. But, man. 20? Only 20. Where's the celebs? Where is the celebs? I mean, come on. It is unbelievable. It is unbelievable. Should we just get into SmackDown? Let's not waste too much time. Let's get into SmackDown. SmackDown. I will say this, SmackDown was a lot easier to digest than Monday Night Raw. SmackDown was a lot easier to digest than Monday Night Raw. SmackDown, it didn't feel like it had anything out of place. It didn't feel like it was downright unbearable. I will say it didn't feel like it was a show that was a chore to watch. This episode of SmackDown, minus a few things, it just kind of felt like it was there. It wasn't great, but it wasn't horrible. It was just kind of It was just kind of average. It was a thumbs in the middle show. Thumbs in the middle show, maybe teetering on the thumbs up show. It was just kind of it was a passable show. I don't want to say it was horrible. We did have a couple of bad things on it, but it was I really don't want to shit on it. I don't want to shit on anything, but the show wasn't, I will say it was passable. It was passable. There's a couple things we're going to go over. There's a couple things we're going to dissect. So, Roman Reigns, Paul Heyman, and Jey Uso, they kicked off the show. Roman said, if you didn't see the Rumble, I beat Kevin Owens. Like I said I would. And now we look towards the future. And apparently the future is Edge. But the last time I checked, yo, Paul, who's the main event of WrestleMania? And he says, you are. Why are you going on Raw? Why are you dragging your ass to NXT when you should be here begging me to allow you on the island of relevancy? Hey, Paul, why am I out here first? Edge, you gonna make the head of the table wait? Oh, wait, he's here? Then let's bring his ass out here. So Heyman was going, pyro for Edge, please. So Edge didn't come out. Roman goes, Edge ain't here. Do I look like a man that wants to play games? Why would you play games with me? The last man who played games with me was Kevin Owens, and I whooped his ass. And he's gone. You're never seeing him again. Edge, you need to understand this. This is your only chance. You'll give me a decision by the end of the night. So he dropped the microphone, and that was that. Dropped the microphone, goodbye. Man, let me tell you something. Edge versus Roman should not be happening. Edge will do nothing to enhance Roman. Roman will not be enhanced by beating Edge. It's not a fucking debatable argument, so just get it through your thick fucking skulls. Bryan is the only man right now that is going to enhance Roman higher than he already is, not Edge. But I will say this. Roman Reigns, fucking fantastic as always. It has become a common trend. Every single time Roman Reigns is out there, he just knocks it out of the park. You can't deny it. He just knocks it out of the park. We had Baron Corbin versus Dominic Mysterio. Corbin actually attacked Rey and Dominic on the stage. He threw Rey off the stage. And then we get the match. Dominic with a springboard crossbody on Corbin. Corbin was wearing down Dominic Mysterio. Dominic Mysterio caught a deep six by Corbin in the ring for 2. Dominic hit a suicide dive on Baron Corbin. Dominic got back into the ring. Rey Mysterio went under the ring, and he held Corbin's leg. Dominic hit a 619 and a frog splash, and Dominic got the win over Baron Corbin. So that was pretty much that. Dominic Mysterio gets the win over Burger King on crack Corbin. Dominic gets the win, great. Can we please move on? Can we get Corbin off of television? Can we get the Lone Wolf character back? And can we actually get Dominic and Rey in the hunt for the tag team titles? I don't understand why they're not fighting for the titles. Also, by the way, Steve Cutler got released because apparently he revealed he tested positive for COVID. I mean, fucking harsh much, WWE? You're fucking releasing Steve Cutler. Fucking releasing Steve Cutler, but you keep Nia Jax, you keep Lana, you keep Braun Strowman, you keep fucking Jinder Mahal, but you're releasing Steve Cutler. Meanwhile, him and Blake are a great fucking tag team. Fucking unreal. Can we please end this Mysterio-Baron Corbin feud? Can we get the Burger King on crack in the back? Get him a gimmick change, please. This King gimmick's been going on for a year and a fucking half. Just end it already. It's not fun. Cesaro versus Daniel Bryan. This went about 5 minutes. I could watch these two fight for the entire fucking show. I could watch these two fight all night long. Bryan and Cesaro, damn good for 5 minutes. Bryan brought the fight to Cesaro. We had a big crossbody to the outside and a missile dropkick. Cesaro was actually bleeding from the side of the head if you missed it. I don't know what exactly busted him open, but he was bleeding from the side of the head. So, Bryan with a roundhouse kick to the side of the head. That got a 2. Cesaro then caught Bryan in a backbreaker, and then he hit a swing. He hit the swing, and then he locked in the sharpshooter, and he sat down deep. He sat down deep on that sharpshooter. Sat down deep, and Daniel Bryan tapped out. Yes, Daniel Bryan tapped out. I already stated why this is happening. This is happening specifically because of the fact that Cesaro's contract was coming up. He signed a new deal. Now they're going to push him for a few weeks. And after a few weeks, since he's already locked, ball locked and chained, they're going to stop pushing him. I'd be surprised if this push for Cesaro lasts past the Elimination Chamber. But Cesaro gets the win over Bryan. Bryan really is selfless, putting over Cesaro twice. Damn good for 5 minutes here. I would have watched these two fight for another 15. Seth Rollins, the Messiah, is returning next week. Ruby Riott took on Bayley. Bayley with the snake eyes for a 2. Billie Kay was actually on commentary. And it's time. It's time for another code. It's time for another reminder for everyone. We live by a couple codes here. The first code is fuck Charlotte Flair and all of her supporters. The second code is Billie Kay. Billie Kay, you know, the woman that is on commentary giving everyone her resume. Billie Kay is absolute AIDS. Billie Kay is absolute AIDS. I don't care what. Billie Kay is an absolute fucking disease to the entire wrestling industry. And I don't give a shit who you are. I don't give a shit who you are. If you are telling me that a talentless waste of space has any potential on WWE television, if you are telling me that you find any redeeming qualities about Billie Kay, you are lying to yourself. You are absolutely lying to yourself. And you don't get to talk about pro wrestling at all. Keep your mouth shut. Keep your mouth shut and only speak if I speak to you. I run this fucking community. Recognize. Billie Kay was on commentary for Ruby Riott and Bayley. This went about 5 minutes. I wish it could have gone longer because I actually wanted to see Ruby Riott have an actual fucking match with Bayley. Bayley locked in the Shankly Gates. She locked in the Shankly Gates. She was taking lessons from Zach Gibson, locking in the Shankly Gates. We had Billie Kay trying to get involved before Liv Morgan was saying, like, what the fuck are you doing? Bayley with the rose plant, the driver for a 2. Billie Kay then went up to Bayley to give her resume. I hope Bayley advocates to get Billie Kay fired. You release Steve Cutler, but you keep Billie Kay. Bayley defeats Ruby Riott. Bayley gains some more momentum. I don't know what Bayley does at Mania. To be quite honest, she really doesn't need to do anything at Mania. You don't need everyone on the show. Bianca Belair came out. The EST, my girl, my pick. I called it. Said she was going to win the Rumble. She said that she was set to make her decision. She was set to make her decision on which champion she was going to face. She said she was incredibly happy. Said she won the Rumble and my life changed overnight. She hyped up Asuka. She hyped up Sasha. But then out of nowhere, Reginald, the sommelier, came out. He says he's certain she can defeat Asuka with the fake accent. But he wasn't sure about Sasha. You can't even beat Carmella. So Carmella ended up coming out. And she said she beat Sasha twice. And she's certain she can do the same to you. Sasha then came out. She said she's focusing on the road ahead. She hyped up Bianca, but she said she doesn't think that she's the best. Choose me. You got it all, but you don't got this. Of course, she was talking about the SmackDown Women's Championship. Reginald said Bianca got lucky when she won the Rumble. Bianca didn't take too kindly to this. and she whipped the shit out of Reginald. She whipped the shit out of Reginald with her braid. Absolutely fucking braid. I would not want to be on the receiving end of a Bianca Belair hair whip. So, this was a decent little back and forth. Wasn't too crazy, but I don't mind the little tease of Carmella versus Bianca. And in an odd way, I actually do want to see what Bianca can do with someone like Carmella. And I can absolutely see Carmella being an interim opponent for Bianca after the WrestleMania match with Sasha. I can see Bianca beating Sasha, and then Bianca and Sasha at Money in the Bank, and then Carmella and Bianca at Backlash in June. I can see that happening, which I don't mind. This was a nice little back and forth and a nice little tease. Bianca and Sasha is the route to go. And as far as Asuka goes, you could do Rhea Ripley versus Asuka. Normally, I would say Rhea Ripley versus Asuka, and I would like to hope that they would do Rhea Ripley versus Asuka, but do you think that they're going to do that? No. It's going to be Charlotte. Because you know that Charlotte can't bear to see herself out of the title picture. Because she's a self-centered, egotistical cunt. Otis and Chad Gable versus Rude and Ziggler. They got new theme music, which I don't mind. They look good. I'm not gonna lie, they look good. They look good. Rude and Ziggler isolated. Gable. Otis got the hot tag. The Street Profits were actually on commentary. He lit up Robert Roode. He had a big discus lariat for Ziggler. Otis actually has a pretty decent discus lariat. So he had a discus lariat on Dolph Ziggler. Otis got taken out by Ziggler after he hit the Caterpillar on Roode. He tagged in Gable. Gable with a big German suplex to Ziggler. And then he hit a glorious DDT, did Roode. Roode hit a glorious DDT on Gable, and Ziggler and Roode win in 3 minutes. What was the point of this match? Can someone please answer me the question? What was the fucking point of this match? I don't understand. Otis and Gable, realistically, should be built up to face off against Roode and Ziggler, possibly at the Elimination Chamber. Roode and Ziggler don't need to compete on television. Listen, I'm happy that they didn't lose clean. I'm happy that the champions won. Champions shouldn't be losing clean. But wouldn't it make more sense to have Otis and Gable fight someone like maybe Dominic and Rey Mysterio or Cutler and Blake, instead of Cutler and Blake lackeying for Corbin or Cutler being released? Why don't you put Cutler and Blake against Gable and Otis? And then you could have Otis and Gable win, or you could have the Street Profits versus Otis and Gable. And then Otis and Gable win and get a tag team title match at the Elimination Chamber. Who does the Street Profits face now? Otis and Gable are literally the only other tag team on SmackDown that you're focusing on besides the Street Profits. Why did you even break up Heavy Machinery? That's a question that I'm still wondering. Why did you even break up Heavy Machinery? I'm happy. Look, I'm not going to complain because Ziggler and Roode won. Champions shouldn't be losing clean. Champions look strong. I'm not going to complain. But why the fuck even book the match if you're not going to build up Ziggler and... No, not Ziggler. Roode and Gable. Not Gable. Gable and Otis. Can't fucking speak today. First it's Ziggler and Roode. Then it's Roode and Gable. They were in a tag team a couple years ago, for those of you who don't remember. They were actually tag team champions. 33 years ago, yesterday, it was Andre the Giant and Hulk Hogan. The most watched wrestling show in history. Hogan spoke on it and he hyped up Edge. He was on the show for 1 minute. Didn't do anything. He didn't help the show. He didn't hurt the show. Big E versus Apollo Crews versus Sami Zayn. This was a triple threat match for the Intercontinental Championship. This was undoubtedly the best thing on the show. This was a great Intercontinental Championship match right here. Apollo Crews looked fantastic. Apollo Crews looked excellent. So, Apollo with Suplex City to Big E. That got a 2. Sammy tried to take over. We had a Tope Con Hero by Apollo taking out Big E on the floor. And then a moonsault off the apron to Big E while he was laying on the floor. Sammy then launched himself over the steps to take out Crews. Coming back from commercial, Sammy tried to wear down Big E. Apollo then took out Sammy. We had a belly-to-belly combination by Big E. We had Big E dropping Sami Zayn. And then we had a big splash. We had a big splash to both Sammy and Apollo. Big E was looking to finish it. Crews then came back with an enziguri. Crews was dropped to the floor, and Big E planted Sammy with a beautiful Uranagi, but Sammy was able to kick out. Sammy was able to kick out. Great stuff right there. Awesome, awesome, awesome stuff right there. We had a splash to Sammy on the apron. Sammy was taken out. Apollo came in with a beautiful drop kick to Big E. Big E was on the floor. Crews then with a beautiful frog splash. I fucking love Apollo Crews' frog splash. A beautiful fucking frog splash. And Crews connected flush with Zayn. Zayn was able to kick out. Just kicked out. Zayn just kicked out. Zayn just kicked out. We had Big E. Big E coming in. Sammy actually, what did he do? We had Big E with a German suplex to Apollo. Apollo hit an exploder on Sammy, so it was a double move. Big E German suplexed Apollo as Apollo hit an exploder on Sammy. Sammy was able to recover though. He hit a haluva kick on Big E. Crews pulled Zayn out of the ring. Zayn then got military pressed. Zayn got military pressed by Apollo Crews into the Timekeeper's area. Military press by Crews into the Timekeeper's area. Great stuff right there. Sammy, he landed fucking hard. I hope that Sammy's okay. He landed fucking hard. Apollo then slid back into the ring. He caught a big ending by Big E, and Big E retains the Intercontinental Championship. Great match. These are the types of matches that is going to make the Intercontinental Championship feel important. These are the types of matches that the Intercontinental Championship should be a part of. And Big E's Intercontinental title reign is leagues better, much better than Sami Zayn's Intercontinental title reign. And I'm actually very happy that Big E is doing the Intercontinental title proud. This was a great match right here. Great stuff. I do hope to see more down the line. I do hope to see better in the future for Big E. I can see Big E facing potentially Cesaro and Seth Rollins in the future. Those are two matches that I would absolutely love to see. I can definitely see Big E versus Cesaro maybe at the Chamber or Fastlane. Maybe they do a rematch with Sami Zayn at the Elimination Chamber, and then they save Cesaro for Fastlane and then Rollins for WrestleMania. Maybe they do a multi-man ladder match and Big E loses the title that way. We'll see what happens. But the match itself was great. Probably the best main roster WWE match in terms of an in-ring perspective. Edge came out. He was going to address the public. He says, "You can't accomplish something you've never dreamed about. I find myself on the verge of main eventing WrestleMania. Which champion do I choose? Do I choose Drew McIntyre? Do I choose Finn Balor? Do I choose Roman Reigns?" So, Roman Reigns then came out. He was accompanied by Jay and Heyman, as always. Edge is like, "You gotta bring backup?" Roman said, "I give you my word. Without my blessing, Paul will not make a movement." Roman then called off Uso and Heyman. He called off both men. Roman stood face to face with Edge. He's like, "You disrespected me and my family. So acknowledge me as the main event of WrestleMania and the champion of your choice. Say my name. That's your cue. Go. So Roman getting in the face of Edge. Great shit. Out of nowhere, Kevin Owens comes up from behind Roman, and he takes a page out of Stone Cold Steve Austin's playbook. We can call him Stone Cold Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens comes out of nowhere, hits a stunner to Reigns, and then just leaves. He came in, he hits a stunner to Reigns, and then he just leaves. And Edge is like, okay. And he just walked away. So Edge, I'm actually very, very happy that Edge did not announce that he's going to face Roman, because that is absolutely the wrong way to go. Absolutely, it's the wrong way to go. So I'm very, very happy that Edge did not choose Roman. That is absolutely the wrong way to go. Edge and Roman is not going to enhance Roman. It should be McIntyre and Edge. But I will say the back and forth was pretty entertaining. Kevin Owens with the LOL moment of the night. Here's what I want to say. Owens, he gave us the LOL moment of the night, but if you are going to try and tell me that Kevin Owens is justified in getting a fourth match with Roman Reigns, I mean, you're out of your fucking mind. The man has had 3 opportunities. He's lost all 3, and he lost at the Rumble clean. There was no Jey Uso. Everything that happened at the Rumble was completely legal. There was absolutely no interference from anyone. Kevin lost clean. How can anyone justify Kevin Owens in getting another Universal title match? There's no way you can. The only way that I see Kevin Owens getting another Universal title match is if Roman defends the title inside the Elimination Chamber. Now, I've said it once and I'll say it again. There's no need to have both world titles on the main roster defended at both pay-per-views before WrestleMania. I would have one world title match on the Elimination Chamber and one world title match on Fastlane. I would just erase Fastlane altogether, but that's what WWE gets for doing a pay-per-view 3 weeks before WrestleMania. Now you have to book a marquee match on that show. But if Kevin Owens is to get another opportunity at the Universal Championship, it would have to be inside the chamber. So based on this outcome, based on the fact that they're trying to keep Edge and his decision interesting, based on the fact that Edge has not revealed which champion he's facing yet, and I get you're trying to keep it interesting, but again, I just don't trust WWE with their track record when it comes to unpredictability, but you are electing to have Edge not announce which champion that he's facing. Fine. If Kevin Owens is to get another Universal title match, then Roman Reigns is defending the title inside the chamber. So, at the chamber, I can see Roman Reigns defending the title against Kevin Owens, Daniel Bryan, Cesaro, Shinsuke Nakamura, because they're floating around the world title picture, and Seth Rollins. And that's your main event for the Elimination Chamber. That's the main event for the Elimination Chamber. You'll have Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus at the Elimination Chamber. And then you'll have a number 1 contenders women's Elimination Chamber to see who's going to face Asuka at Mania. You'll probably have Charlotte in there. You'll have Lacey in there. Now, I say those two because those two are in a program, so you can enhance the storyline with those two that way. It doesn't look like that storyline's ending anytime soon, so you can have Charlotte and Lacey in there. Naomi's in there. Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler, and then you can have Adam Pearce announce a surprise entrant that's not going to be revealed until the pay-per-view. And the surprise entrant could be Rhea Ripley. And Rhea Ripley ends up winning that match. So, those 2 chamber matches, and then Drew and Sheamus, that's a nice 3-match lineup that you can use. Those are 3 big matches that you can use to sell the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. And then you'll probably have some undercard matches, maybe Riddle and Lashley, maybe a SmackDown Tag Team title match on there, something like that. Maybe we see that. Maybe we see that. Maybe we see Big E versus Sammy in there. Big E and Sammy, IC title. Riddle and Lashley, US title. Drew and Sheamus. Maybe another undercard match. Something like that. But those 3 matches, those 2 chamber matches, and then Drew and Sheamus, those are the 3 matches that I can see WWE using to sell the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. Because like I said, there's no way that you're going to be able to justify Kevin Owens getting another Universal title match unless he's in the Elimination Chamber. Now, what do you do with Kevin Owens after that? Well, if Fastlane is coming up and Drew McIntyre is going to face Edge, Roman Reigns doesn't need to defend the title at Fastlane. So if you want a marquee match for the SmackDown brand at Fastlane, I can potentially see either a triple threat match, a fatal 4-way, or a fatal 5-way between Bryan, Owens, and Rollins, or maybe Bryan, Owens, Nakamura, Cesaro, maybe Bryan, Owens, Nakamura, Cesaro, and Rollins, fatal 5-way, triple threat, or fatal 4-way, and then the winner faces Roman at WrestleMania, and Daniel Bryan can get to Roman that way. What does Drew McIntyre do at Fastlane? I don't really know. To be quite honest, I don't care. Because that's what WWE gets. But again, that's what WWE gets for doing an unnecessary pay-per-view 3 weeks before WrestleMania. Because now you have to build towards that match. Not that match, that show. And make that show feel important. I wouldn't even have Roman defend the title inside the Elimination Chamber. But here we are. There's no way that you can justify Kevin Owens getting another Universal title match. He's lost 3 times. How can you justify him getting a 4th? If he is to get a 4th one, it's going to be inside the chamber. That's it. That was SmackDown for you. That was SmackDown. HGFO, you gave me 7 likes. You are an absolute beast. You are a beast. Wow. 3 more likes, we would have gotten to 30. Hey, let me tell you something. It was still a great stream. Still a great stream. Still a great stream. We did do great numbers. Trust me on that. We'll do even better numbers for the rundown for NXT TakeOver Vengeance Day. That is, of course, next Friday. Yes, that is, of course, next Friday at none other than 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time, like all the rundowns are. Of course, do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Like, comment, and subscribe. Check out all the links in the description. Watch the rewind. Watch the rewind. I'm sorry, HGFO, no questions today because I am going to get out of here. I'm actually going to go get some food. I think we got some burgers tonight, both regular burgers and turkey burgers tonight for dinner. That's going to be great. Hopefully we got a side of tater tots in there as well. But am I making you hungry yet? Am I making you hungry? But ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up this edition of the Lightning Flash Update. Thank you everyone who tuned into this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Check out all the links in the description. HGFO, if you could do me a favor, if you can go and if you can check out the link to the rewind for the Royal Rumble and you can give me 7 likes there, I would greatly appreciate it. Please go check that out. Please go and check that out. It is vital. I want to gain as many likes as possible. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for showing your love. Thank you, everyone, for stopping by. Thank you, everyone, for stopping by. Rundown for TakeOver Vengeance Day with Little Stevie. That is next Friday at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Next week, Lightning Flash Update as always. And then on Tuesday, I believe. I think on Tuesday. I think we can do it on Tuesday. I think Tuesday afternoon will be the rewind for NXT TakeOver Vengeance Day. We're going to start off your Tuesdays right. I know that not a lot of people like Tuesdays, but I think that we're going to give everyone a little treat on a Tuesday. A special Tuesday upload. On the 16th of February, the rewind for NXT TakeOver Vengeance Day. How about that? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm DJ Storms. This has been the Lightning Flash Update. DD, HGFO, Peanuts, Cool King, Efron, who else? Furious Nation, Adam, Stevie. Thank you, everyone. Big Boy, Johnny. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. You guys have an awesome weekend. Enjoy your Saturday. I'm going to relax, get some food. I'll be working tomorrow. I'll be working Monday. Next week starts another busy week for me, another busy week for you guys as well. I will catch you guys real soon. Next Friday, rundown for TakeOver Vengeance Day with Little Stevie. I will catch you guys then.